on hold. I'm confused and weak. Don't want your alibi. You've already made me cry. So please, just let me be. I don't care what you was or whatever you did. That's between you and her. Just leave me alone. Let me sing. I don't care to swim. Let me quietly decide if I'm gonna live or die. That's the least I can do for a world that seems to crush every dream. And every time I'm a fool. So please turn around and walk out that door and go somewhere else. To your home, or to her, or to hell. Suit yourself. Just leave me alone. Leave me.
What's up, world? How you doing? We got a nice evening planned for you today. Gotta big up everybody. Angela, what's up? Diane, what's going on? Satoko from Japan. I got Diana Bryson here. Everybody, feel good. Everybody, I appreciate y'all big time, man. It's gonna be a great evening. A great evening, I say. Listen, tell your friends to tell their friends to join us right here. We're hearing the music right now from Miss Cherie Elise. And we got a wonderful conversation coming up with you tonight. All right. We're gonna be getting into the legend. We're gonna get some information, some conversation with the legend. And don't throw the word around loosely. Steven, what's up? Clementine, how are you? DJ Lance, what's going on? What's going on? Again, tell your friends to tell their friends that this is where it's at. Cindy, how are you? It is going to be a vibe tonight. Trust me. All right? Y'all ready to get the show on the road? Polly, what's going on? It's about that time we get the show started, right? Chopping it up again with Mr. Willie Stewart tonight. Got to big up a lot of folks. I know we get the show going. Big up everybody listening in on Jamaicans.com. People listening in on Homegrown with G. Cole. All the people celebrating birthdays, gotta big them up, of course. Everybody celebrating birthdays. Tomorrow's not promised, man. Crazy time. So whenever we get our special days, we celebrate, and we celebrate responsibly, so we can do this again tomorrow and next year and whenever, right? Happy anniversary to all those people celebrating anniversaries. It's gonna be a vibe. Gonna be a vibe. Let's get the show started. Let's introduce the masses to what we got going on. Let's get. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do, so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Also, check out the website Homegrown with G. Cole to listen and for all things homegrown. We're also very interactive. Please follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at MyGCole. And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, going to be having a dope conversation, like I said, a wonderful conversation. One of my favorite people on the planet. Can't even front. One of my favorite people to sit on and have a conversation with. Just an overall great gentleman. And just to remind everybody, keep getting messages. G. Cole, when's Vinyl Night coming back? Vinyl Night is coming back. And guess what I got for you? Coming up soon, Shezadek's album. You hear me talking about it, Hello Africa. It is available on vinyl right now. All right, courtesy of Taz Records. And we're going to fire up the turntable real soon. So follow us on social media at MyGCole so I can tell you exactly when's Vinyl Night, what's popping, how it's going down. And we got a conversation for you tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you hear me saying OD, all right? The OG himself, Mr. Willie Stewart, is joining us. We're talking about the reggae ambassador himself. All right. Original drummer, Third World, for all the Third World fans out there like me, born and raised on the band, loving the music, loving just the vibe, the energy, the greatness that they brought to it and brought to us all. Mr. Willie Stewart is my guest tonight. So I'm going to bring him on. And there's a lot of things we're going to get into. So I'm bringing some stuff up right about now because there's a lot of people you don't know until you know. All right. And I'm dropping it when I say, put some respect on the name. It's not just Mr. Willie Stewart. It's Mr. Willie Stewart O. Mr. Willie. Oh, you
Yes,
doing?
sir.
Let me switch up. I got headphones for days. You know.
I can't hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
I have to come back in. Hold on. I'm gonna have to come back in. You switch me. I have to sign back in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna have to sign back in. Let me sign back in.
All right, cool.
Give me a minute.
Cool.
Let me sign back in.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now, sir.
No, I'll wait till you get ready because I see a lot of plaques on the wall, so I want to make sure say the thing line up.
Yeah. Let's look. Yeah, man.
Well, go on, sir Willie. How are you?
Great to be here, man. I mean, I must congratulate you on a fantastic show. Fantastic information that you're doing. Great work. Great work, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I'd like to tell good evening to all of the great listeners and fans and everybody. You know, it's just great work, especially in this time where we have so much hardships. You know.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna say thank you for taking a moment out of your time. Again, thank you and congratulations in the same breath, because again, that's a lovely honor bestowed upon you by the government of Jamaica. Long overdue. And but more than anything else, well deserved. So congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you so much for that. Yeah, man. Only is like
Is the COVID rebranding?
Yes.
But no, here's the thing though. You and I have spoken on numerous occasions, and I've always expressed to you pretty much love what you're doing. And we're talking music, we're talking legacy, we're talking legend here. You're coming up Third World. But for those two people who didn't see the first one, you know, born in the UK, right? Give me a little. I always say before the limelight, before the stage, before the band, before all that. Just catch me up a little bit from young William Stewart being born in the UK to Jamaica to music. Talk to me a little about that.
Right. Could you turn on the music just a little bit?
Oh, you mean, of course.
I love it. I love the music. Right. Yeah, right. Because it's going to think. Yeah. So listen, man. Yeah, man. Born in England. Listen. My parents. I was born in England, and I guess to wonderful parents, and I felt drums as I was in my mother's stomach. I can't explain to you. First of all, I heard a wonderful heartbeat, boom, boom, and it's like it resonated deep with me. And when I was 6, I decided that I wanted to play drums. I knew what my career was. I didn't know how it would come or what would happen, but I knew drums. It's like people say, why did you choose drums? Drums chose me. Rhythm chose me. Wow. And being in England, I got to listen to a variety of different musicians. One of my brother Neville, he was a master of collective music. He would play jazz, all the different stuff. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, all those whales, Akabilk. So I was getting a history lesson in music at the age of 5, 6. My other brother played little guitar, Gene, and he would play guitar blues. So that also influenced me. And I would just take up some knife and fork and continue just playing arbitrarily. And there was this gentleman called George Rudder. He was, because my father had this big house where you call like it was a guest house then. So we had about, in England, we had about 3 stories. So we'd have people that would come and rent different places and things there. And we had the bottom floor. And George and his mommy, who became my godmother, would play jazz. So he would come and look at me and say, "Oh, you can play drums." And he said, "You have natural rhythm." And then so that took it. And then my mother, who is two of my mother was married before as a Lee. So that's where Byron Lee was her first son. And then Neville Lee and Jean Lee. That's my half brothers. And
Right.
then there was me, and then my other younger brother, who's actually not with us right now. But God bless his soul.
Rest in peace.
Well, a lot of the brothers. Byron has gone. God bless his soul. And Neville went 2 years ago. God bless his soul. You know, so there's only 2 of us left as brothers. You know,
Right.
And actually the one Gene who's here, he was the first person in England to give me on Christmas one of them tin drum, you know, when you see the
Right.
blue soldiers, and I used to bend it up with stick, man, mash up it, man, with stick and thing. And so the story goes that Byron wanted my mother to come back to Jamaica, and I said, you know, so the night when he came is the first time I'm seeing Byron at the age of about 10.
Right.
And they start to play bass, and they was playing on G Mother Brother Jam, and he says, "Mama, mama," you know, I don't know if anybody know him, but he speaks very fast. "Mama, mama,
Right.
I need I need to come back to Jamaica." So I said, "Wow." So what happened is that we ended up coming back to Jamaica, and my first experience was Byron Lee was playing with his big band on RJR stage outside. That time we used to play a lot of concerts outside. And
Right.
when I saw the band, I said to my mother, "That is what I want to do, mommy. That is what I." She said, "Yes, you go in
Wow.
school and get education." Believe me, at that time, I would clean the drum set. I would be anything just to be able to play. And they had a guy called Barry Lloyd playing drums, a fantastic drummer. Man, I would have talked to him. They had to pull me away because I was just mesmerized. When I saw them playing, I think they used to play Night Train, that. And the way everybody would play and scare. Man, believe me, I can't explain to you. It was the greatest part of it. And then from there, is that my life became, I said, boy, this is what I really want to do. Well,
Right.
with parents, my father was into restaurant business. He had a restaurant. As I am passionate about music, my father was Herb Steakhouse. When it comes to cooking,
Right.
believe me, I never get that. I know you talk about cooking
I,
yourself,
I was
but
about to
please.
ask you, now, did you get any
No,
of that?
no, listen. When it comes to cleaning, I can clean better than anybody. That is big. Because when I used to cook, right, I tried to do little eggs in the morning. My mother, through the Chinese in her, and black, when she cooked all that Chinese, I couldn't go near it. When my father made his own syrup. When he cooked a
Wow.
steak, you know, all the ministers of Jamaica came and ate. It was amazing. So from a young age, I worked in a restaurant, and so in Woolmer's, I tell you the story all the time. So I eventually went to Woolmer's. I went to
Mhm.
Meadowbrook first, and I went to Woolmer's. I went to primary school in Antigone, growing up
Mhm.
there, and then in Woolmer's, I decided I wanted to start a band. So a gentleman called Paul Thorburn, his Nyanda, the
Yep.
Lace.
Brick
That's the
and lace.
father. Yes, he played in my band. He came up with the idea. Let's have a band because they wanted us to play for a girls' school concert next door. So it's
Right.
him came up with the idea, and Philip Brady, Al Brady brother, come let's do. And that's how we started the school called Visions. Colin Leslie came in, Gray, and then we had it. Who was in the band to Scotty, and Burning Flames, Winston
Wow.
Stoner, and we
Wow.
had Keith Jones. Okay, so it was great. So, but when I went to the master, we want to start the band. Headmaster comes and say, "What kind of band? Are you going to play classical music?" I said, "Mr. Bogle, we cannot play classical music. We would like to play our nation's music." Yeah. He says,
Right.
"Well, I don't think that can be possible." So I go home and rewind and say, "Boy, let me come back again." So I thought about something, and I say, "You know something? The library want books. So
Mhm.
maybe if I go to him and tell him that we would play free, but we'll ask for donations, then he would give us money. He would give us, allow us to play. As
Right.
long as I was, so I go back to him and say, "Mr. Bogle, can I speak to you? What is it, Stuart? What is it?" I said, "Well, really, sir, I've been thinking deeply about what you thought about, what you told me. We don't play classical, but we like to play music, decent music, ska, you know." and that, and I have an idea. What is it, Stuart? I said, well, the library needs money. So we could play all the girls' schools and we can get donations. And then we would use that money and give back to for the library. I think about it, Stuart. 2 days time him called me and said, Mr. Stuart, come here. I've thought about your idea, but listen, you're going to be an example to the school. You are going to be an example. If I hear anything, you're going to be on the line. You'll be like you in school. You'll be an ambassador. I said, yes, sir. So guess what? We could play all the girls' schools. Nothing sweeter than that. The first day that I got a chance to play the Wilmer's Girls' School next door, I'm on this high stage, right? Because I'm on this big stage. I'm on it, and the drums barely can move. All of a sudden, the last part I'm playing, and would you believe that I drop off in the back? Listen, I was so embarrassed. Good thing it was the last two songs. I couldn't go back up there. I was ashamed. Me I playing now, and all of a sudden the band is down there looking and playing the no drummer. Let me drop off round the back.
In front of the ladies.
In front of the man, as a young man, nothing could be. I'm glad that my pants never tear. That would have been the worst thing in the world.
But you know something though? It's your dream. You want to go play for the ladies. Sometimes it doesn't go down.
But what happened? Dynamic Visions start to play for different occasions. We start to play for Matalons, McNeil, Casamonte, and we got very popular. And that was with the group. So that is my humble starts with Jamaican music and playing. And then from there, what happened is that the band was supposed to play against Generation Gap at a place called Tunnel. Tunnel was called. So we're getting ready to play and sing, but somehow one of the members didn't turn up. So because of that, we said, wow. So we couldn't play. We're very disappointed. That time, Ibu was playing keyboards with us. With Visions. And so we said, okay. And we call it a day.
Right.
So I am Independence now. We're playing, it was Independence, and we're playing for we wasn't playing Ingrid Chin, which is Ingrid Chin is the auntie of Tessan Chin.
Right.
Because Chin is a grandfather. So what happened now is that they're playing Carnival and Lane Plaza, everybody jumping, hey, in the air, everybody get and sing. And so Richard, who played drums, said, Willie, come on stage, come on play, come on jam. And so my guitar player, Richard Gray, and myself went up and we jammed. After we jammed, now we come on down, and enjoying everything. And none other than the two great Inner Circle, Ian and Roger Lewis appears and says to Richard Gray, you guys who aren't playing a band, we have a band, And Richard Gray says, sure. You see, when we went to university and saw the instruments, well, boss, believe me, it was all over. Wow. We said yes. And then Ibu came in after, and there was circles. That's how circle started.
So that's the beginning in a circle. Okay.
Yes, I was the original drummer, and up to there, I don't know if Roger still don't. We used to play by is it Bay Farm Road? I'm trying to think by Oxford Road there, where the telephone company was there, like right around there. So Beechwood Avenue, around there. So we used to play in a big tent with psychedelic lights and all that. And they called us Memphis Underground, and then eventually we got the name Inner Circle.
Right.
And so then what happens is that the true story of the whole thing is that me and Ibu and Richard Gray and Roger and Ian was the band, and we had we had different singers. Right. And then what happened then is that one night, I think Kat did explain that, at Tunnel, Bonnie Ruggs came. William Clark came and sang Fall in Love. Wow. I saw this man come in boast, and when him sing, I said, who's this? People say, he's a hell of a singer. I said, wow. Right. The man come and tear it down and walk out, mash up the face. We said, who this, really? And then after that now, it's like he became part of the band. And then now, because at that time, they called Fat Cat. I mean, the man was like, he had a band called, what name was it? Anyway, his band was a whole thing, because we had different bands. I had Visions, he had his band. Alley Cats was the name of his band, with Andrade and that. And then Ibu had Rhythms, had his own band. And we'd play competitions at churches, and every man just a vibe and thing like that. So Cat used to come and watch he came and watched us and told us, so he knew the set. He was a
Right.
little youth. He was a little youth learning. You understand?
Right.
So Richard Gray was very complex on the guitar. Love Cards and Ventures and them sang there, you know. And so
Yeah.
it was great. And Cat was there. So Richard had to go and study. So then Cat took over the guitar part of Inner Circle. And so we started to play all over the place, and it was great. Stevie Wonder was brought down by Father Louis. I'll never forget that. And we had to open for Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder brought Father Louis brought Stevie Wonder. At Carib
in Jamaica.
In Jamaica. Let me tell you something. All of us, you see, when we done open the show, we in the front seat, everybody looking in the front seat, eyes to watch, because all our favorite drummer, the bass man, is there. 9 shows. Let me tell you something. It was like we were in heaven. We was in heaven. So that was, I would say, that's the first connection with Stevie, you know, and seeing him play and practice, there was nothing like it. And then we started to play. Funky Brown came in the band, Nash, Bruce Ruffin. We used to play a ton. We was the first band to play. They would have the disco playing, and then we would play. We had to play about 15 new songs every week. And when we played, the disco would go straight in the band. And the people didn't know the difference between the disco and the band. Is like, boom.
From the jukebox to the live band.
Right, live. And the people still dance. And then when we stopped, the jukebox take right over. So it was a compete. And that is how we practiced. And that was our inner, what you call it, that was our start of being able to expose ourselves and as friends. So how Circle was, is like, it was family. It was like all of us were kids growing up. So we all grew up in the same neighborhood in a sense. That's how that went. So after that now, Bonnie left the band, went back to New York in a Circle. And then I left. Well, I left on this way, coming back to my brother. Barry Lee had a drummer, Jarrett, you know, he Esmond, Carrot's older brother, is a drummer, and Carrot is a drummer, and his younger brother Irvin is also a drummer. So, and the father was a great drummer, jazz drummer. So what happened is that I don't know what Esmond was doing in Cayman, but he broke his foot, right? And Byron said to my mother, and him talk very fast, Mama, I need Willie have to come. I need him to come and play drums. So I was in Woolmer's in Fifth Farm, about taking my screen, past it, getting ready for my O-levels. And my mother said, you know, Byron needs you in the band. And I think it'd be good because being your brother and dynamic sounds, you can get in the business, and it may be the best start.
Right.
To be truthful, I didn't want to go. I was so happy in a circle, but I didn't have no choice.
Right,
so I even look at Father Louis and said, could you hide me till I finish my exam? So he said, I will be capturing you. I could never do that. He talked very English, Mr. Stewart. I could never, ever do that. You know, that would be on my, whatever your parents have to do. So I don't know if the band really knew why I left.
Right.
But then the transition, I was in Berlin. So at the age of 16, I was touring Europe. I was touring, Iceland, Mexico. Introduction to America was phenomenal.
At 16?
At 16, the youngest member, they wrote in Europe, youngest member with all these older guys, full 14-piece orchestra. I'm driving my introduction to Miami, coming to Miami, boom, he would drive 2 vans. I am driving all the way to Montreal, 32 hours. And it's the first time I used to see musicians gamble, so that you know that they played Peter Pot. So by the time every man start gambling, you know that by the time they reach the destination, certain man not going to get paid for 7 weeks. I could not understand. I'm saying, what could be, how is this? That was my introduction.
Man, bro.
I'm saying, yes, by the time my man have to buy back the money, because, you know, and listen, I remember one day, America was very different, because in them days there, I been seeing America, and every car, every one of those vans, you see some guns shot under the back. So you dare not stop. So I remember when Byron stopped one time at the gas station, and you see some people start gather. And it's like police come and say, I think you better leave here now. You know?
Right.
So you don't bother, you don't tally, you move, you know?
Keep it going.
Keep it going. So then my existence going to was beautiful. I went on to play with Barry Lee for 2.5, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Got to travel, played Carnival, Jamaica. I mean, there's so much shows that we were playing every night. But
Yeah.
Neville Hines was our leader, and Keith Lee, all the people I know. But I was so much younger, you know what I mean? But
Right,
it was a
right.
it was a great experience in Barry Lee. Then leaving, then I decided that I wanted to do more,
Right.
And actually, I ended up working a little bit at Dynamic Sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left, and I worked with another brother. Yes, that's what I did with another
What
brother.
were you doing at Dynamic Sounds?
I was being trained to deal with the Caribbean as maybe manager for
Oh.
but I had to learn all the spinners, all the Atlantic, Sony, learn all the things. And then my other brother was general manager of
Right.
Dynamics, which was Neville Lee.
Right.
So he was coaching me, and I was getting ready. But I love it. But I wanted to play really and truly.
Yeah.
And it's at that point now I got to start, and then the option came up to go into Third World. And how it goes that it started, of course, I think Kat gave you the whole story of how of how Third World started. And Prilly also did one at Sonic Desk. Big up to Stephen Lee.
Big up Stephen. ATF band.
ATF band and Sonic Desk.
Yeah.
Excellent, because what he's doing is interviewing, just like yourself. He's using musicians, and people get to know history, because I think that people who talk a lot about the music, you get a lot of, there's nothing wrong with it, but you get it from other people, Europeans and things. We need more of our own Jamaicans to start talk about their own history of their music. It's very important. So I like what Sonic doing, because you have a different great artists talking, and producers and musicians. So it's good. Sonic Desk, big up.
Large up, Stephen and Sonic team.
Yeah. So I move. So moving from into Third World, what happened is that I heard them. I was always close to them in a funny way, because when they were playing, I hired them, because while I was doing promotion too, I hired them on Generation Gap to do a show at Sheridan in Kingston. So now everybody getting come show the clash.
Right.
But what happened is that Third World decided that they were going to play and going to be more of a show band.
Right.
And Jamaica wasn't ready for that. And what happened is that Jamaica was ready for so I think it's now Generation Gap. Mash up the dance, mash them up. So now when everybody expecting Third World now is saying, well, Baba, trust me, the people was not.
They weren't prepared for that.
They were way ahead of their time.
Wow.
So I'm trying to say, play something for dance, man. A great show, I said,
right.
So that was the start of one of the first things I saw them, and then they played one night, New Year's Eve night, and I was always talking to them. And then when I heard them at Epiphany before they left to go to England, and they were really Isley Brothers, they were smoking. I loved it. They were incredible. And so they played, and then they got a chance to go to England to work on their first album, and it was that was great. And then playing there, but I was still in Jamaica doing the thing and hearing all the great things that opening for Bob Marley that was doing. So when they came back and played they played back at Epiphany. And then I saw Ibu and everything. And I was saying, it was good.
Yeah.
And then they were playing at the university the next day. So I don't know what happened, but something happened. And Carnell, because the first member of that band as a drummer was Carl Barovia. Carl Barovia was like family with all of us. He's the one that could play. When it comes to technical things, he had it. He could just sit down and play back all the licks. Wow. So he was that drummer from all of us for years. And then now Carnell Marshall started to play with the band, who did that. So Carnell left the band, and I just happened to be on the road on a Christmas. Like it was just in the Christmas season. And in the plaza in Ligony, and buck up Richard Daly. And Richard said to me, "You don't hear?" I said, "No." Him said, "Boy, well, look at drummer, I said, "What?" "Yeah, we auditioned about 7, and the one we're going is someone that you were associated with." And Kat and Ibu said that the only man that could come into Third World without audition is Willie Stewart.
Right.
So I look and say, "Where is Ibu?" He said, "Ibu is a little stone." I said, "I'm going down." So I go down to Ibu and I say, "Ibu, what happened?" Ibu said, "Yeah, man, we are talking about you, boy." I said, "Boy, we are picking maybe one of your guys, because we were saying that the only man, but we know we can't pay you because you're a manager." That has worked with my brother. I was a manager for sales for Miracle Corporation. So I was selling all over the country and doing that because I love that, too. And him said, well, listen, we don't have the money to really pay you to what, I said, listen, did we talk about money? It's not about money. And I said, yeah, man, I'll come. He said, no, you're a joke. I said, no, definitely. And then, Baba, my first gig was at Boscoville Playboy Club.
Playboy.
New Year's Eve night. I had to practice in a rush to get the stuff.
Wow.
And first gig, and then boy, within 3 weeks after that, boom, gone to America, to San Francisco. We were there for 7 months. And I remember I got very sick over there in San Francisco. I'll never forget. And I had got pneumonia too there, and because of the cold and everything. And boy, but it was a beautiful time in learning. We had to play open. We had played all the major gigs on Hollywood. It was really, 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 really fantastic. And then, and then we end up coming back and playing in New York.
Right.
And when we played there that night, we left, and Bunny came and visit us while we were playing.
Bunny Rose.
And then the transition changed, and then Bunny Rose came in the band. And then that is the band that was 96 Degrees started.
Wow. It's amazing to hear. I always tell people I need to hear the stories for me, because there's a lot of, when it comes to third world, the connection for me goes, like I mentioned to you, it's about one of the first bands I saw give me a full show as a band and replicated, or should I say represented Jamaica in more than just the atypical 4-piece. We're doing reggae band. It was a real band doing what they do. And again, talking about Playboy and Ocho Rays, that's where my mother and father met. So I'm birthed from all of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
It's a joy. Now we're talking third world pre. No, we have all the huge albums. I got all of them. You know what I mean? The huge third world albums, all of them albums, artwork phenomenal all over the place, and the music in itself matching the artwork. You then moved on. I always wonder to myself, how difficult is it? It's easy to leave something when it ain't working. You know what I mean? When it's not successful, when it's not that. But I always wonder, because I don't know if I would or could leave it at the top. You know what I mean? When it's one of the biggest, one of the best, one of the brightest, one of the most successful bands. How difficult was it walking away?
Well, first of all, let me say something first. That I must congratulate Junior Gong and
yes.
them on a great album. They is the first producer that I have seen, a producer that is so committed with that album that he push out every stop. And boy, the respect, because I remember when Junior Gong came on tour with us, all France. So I'm talking to him about what we do, and of course he was closer to Cat and Richie as such. But we all shared, we talk at Zinc Fence, and and to how him respect the group. I really, but more, yes, big kudos to that, So I must congratulate him on that and their Grammy nomination.
Absolutely.
I think it's number 9, but then Beatles never won any anyway. So
Right. Right.
Yeah. So big up to Richard Daly and Cat Core.
Right.
And the rest of the team, Robson and everybody on the album, and it's good because they had a chance to move forward with the sound, and AJ and and Norris. See, I remember all the members. But Maurice took I think Maurice is left a little bit,
Yeah.
But also to Maurice,
Yeah.
Big up to them, So, all right, let me answer your question now. Me leaving. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I left, but one of the reasons is that it's not easy. Yes, it's because leaving third world. If I was going to Stevie Wonder or Santana, would be a great thing because you're going on something. But leaving for certain reasons, it's very difficult. It was not an easy decision. Really was not. But God have a way of saying that you have to do something else. If it comes to that, you have to make. And it's like a road was made for me in that right away as I left. A lot of people didn't even know because our last show was in Barbados. Listen to what I tell you, Barbados. And we were supposed to do another show in the Grill as a farewell show for everybody, for myself and Ibu. But that didn't happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. So in moving on, I left and went to England really to do some other business. And while I was there, Palmer, Jetstar, I looked at me and said, why don't you do something where you can, maybe do some music there or get involved where you can do something there to create a different sound. So Ibu came up and we started to work on some stuff with Neris Joseph and all that. But it never quite worked out, you know. Um, and what happened while I was there, there was this. I was looking in the paper and I saw this where it says that to be a music facilitator, you have to be a certain age and you have to have this. And about 1,000 different people went, you know, applied.
Right.
I did, and I guess it take maybe 50 or 60 people to do the course, and I got chosen to the course.
Wow.
And that was a musical facilitator, which was a wide opening, which made a whole different. Because I've always loved working with children. Because even
Right.
at Third World, Ibu and myself, and as other members too, would always go around and talk to, you know, the children or whatever happens to you, to youth, and encourage them. So I had a chance to be able to do programs and facilitations, and I graduated there after 2 years to be a music facilitator. And at the last part, Ibu came at this called Breton Hall, is like their Berkeley College.
Right.
So I had to do a presentation. That time I didn't even know if I passed the exam, you know. So they had me. So I was have to do a thing on reggae music to show how to record, how reggae music is. And then they picked like about 40 students from all over Oxford and all that. And they had a retreat for 4 days. And I was a presenter. So I brought my good learned friend Ibu, and I had this bassman, and he used to play with Ika Mouse. And there was this young lady who she was a singer, so she would do the singing. She was from Barbados, and so
Right.
that's how we started. And I did it, and it was excellent. And after they did the whole thing for the 3 days, they looked at me and said, "You passed with flying colors. Congratulations!"
Wow.
And I could have stayed in England, and they would have given me a job to work because there was very few of us, if you know what I'm saying. Um, and they wanted to work in Brixton, and there was only two of us, like from Caribbean,
Right.
who went through the exam, and they wanted me to take over Brixton and run it there with at-risk kids and run the whole thing. I'll be just an administrator, but I'll never be able to be a musician because it take up so much work.
Right.
So I
Right.
said,
Right.
no, I said, no. I says, no. And then I left there, and then I happened to see Eddie Grant was my good friend. So Eddie Grant came, he would write to me sometimes and come and talk and everything up to a house where we live and spend time. And he says, boy, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to call on you. And so be it. In 1999, he called me and said, Willie, I'd finished my exams and everything. He says, Willie, boy, I want you to come and play Tobago. You have to come and rehearse for 2 months in
Right.
Barbados. So I went there, rehearsed with him, brought Jamaican side, the bassman from Bonnie Whaler, Cadian singing background, Chevron playing keyboards,
Wow.
Arturo was the MD, a whole international band. And we rehearsed, and then we got to play Tobago. We got to play Tobago. I've never seen a show in my life like that because BBC brought in equipment. They had to
Wow.
use scaffolding on the ship to move. It looked like what did it look like? It looked like a pyramid they built.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that show was televised to 2.5 billion people because it was 2000. It was New Year's Eve. And what happened is that everybody started, the computers would stop. So
Oh,
we
okay.
had,
Okay.
so Eddie Grant had about, I would say, 2 minutes on BBC and ABC joined together.
Right.
2.5 billion people watched the show.
Wow.
Just tuning it out. But boy,
Right.
it was fantastic. And that is where I saw the soca side of people because Eddie was connected to everybody. And
Right.
Kitchener was singing that song, the great Kitchener. And when I
Right.
saw him sing, I said, boy, this man is like saying his last show. It was so prolific.
Right. Right.
He left after he died after that. So that
Wow.
was his really show there. So after that, I went back to England. Eddie Grant came to Jamaica and he wanted to meet more people. And we recorded a Tough Gong, East Dry River, a song. And he did it. And he spent 3 weeks and he met everybody. And then I left, went back to England, and then went to New York and then on to LA to do the album that we would talk about. Prior to that, Ibu and Carrot met me in 2000 by Barbados for a week for us to discuss things of a new idea we had to work on. And some of the songs you're listening to now is that which we want to release in the next 7 weeks. But it's a lot of other musicians. And when it was done in that time, it's instrumental, but I think people will be surprised how it is. So that's one of the releases I'm going to do.
Well, I know you got a lot of stuff coming up, but there's a multifacetedness to Willie Stewart that a lot of people see some of and not see some of. We see the philanthropy, we see you curating the rhythms of Africas and so forth, and working with the kids. I can tell the passion for the kids and for the community. It shows, but it takes a lot to work with kids. Period. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you. At my tender age of 30, let me tell you something. I have the advantage of going to schools from the little babies then right up to university.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I understand why the children stay like this today.
Right.
I understand. It's
Right.
not easy. And I'm knowing now that the parents that have to take because of this COVID
Right.
situation, the
Mm-hmm.
parents that have to take care and do with the kids, and realize how valuable the teacher is. I'm sure. Whenever this COVID thing is done, them going to run and they will give any money now for them to children to go back to the thing. Going to realize your child in school is a
Right.
different child at home.
Yep.
Your your child on the internet is a different child on the internet from what you think are going to bed at home with you.
So true.
It's different children. And this is why it can be dangerous if you don't monitor them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I give God thanks that has given me an opportunity to be able to work with them. And in with Williams of Africa, with my nonprofit Embrace Music Foundation, we can work with all the different children and like between 14 and 16 and train them in drums. No, it was at risk kids. Remember, this was the eighth one we did, which you came to that show
Right.
in
Right.
February, Pebble Pines. But what
Mm-hmm.
happened is that we started in some of like with 60 kids. We used to go downtown Miami and have to train them and everything, and then play at Adrian Arts Center. So this
Right.
has been going on. And the beauty about is that I'm so proud of our Jamaican culture that whenever they come and look at you, I said, boy, we're going to do the best of whatever we do. And God has guided us and guided me and my family, who has been my tooth and nail, everything,
Right.
to be able to achieve these things. And why I say it is so phenomenal in that 21 years or 22 years I spent in third world, and it's about 21 or 22 years now to all that God has blessed me with being with third world, and also after third world, I
Mm-hmm.
marvel because I would never able to do the things to touch the lives of so much children to be able to do in a whole different. It's like I had to recreate myself,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
and that is not easy because you use the thing. But the beauty about it, if you love people and you believe in what you do, then it works. Because I
Yeah.
started in 2000, I had to come here, work in Florida, work with all the best people, and work with children doing percussions, working with them, showing them importance of music and working. And it just developed. I started to work with companies, big corporate companies, doing stress team building corporation things. And that was another thing. So having that part of me, I was able to use that
Right.
and be able to create the different things. So give God thanks for that. And then recently, about 5, 6 years now, Willie Stewart and Friends has grown. I'm able to play now because really all I want to do is play back again. I love just
Right.
to play and enjoy myself. But all of a sudden, I've got so deep in the buzz. Listen, from my main visions, when I told you the first band,
Mm-hmm.
you can always rely on me in a taxi. When you see me come, baggage, drum set, amplifier, everything. Now, when I'm older, I expect to get easier. I say, boy, now I have a trouble with 26 truck, a 26-foot truck with crew of 7 and 8 people. I mean, it's like baggage is on me. Maybe I should have put violin like how cat play cello.
Okay.
And you
Easy.
just walk with easy. Me now, it's a whole different world. And so when I play, like when we play the galas up here,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm going to do something, I'm not going to do it half-heartedly. If it's one person, if it's a million, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. So
Right.
when we take on a show, like with the galas and playing for all the things, we have
Mm-hmm.
to go there from early. I am there from 9 o'clock in the morning. I have a
Right.
change. I have to find a room and change it. I don't get back home till 9 o'clock the next morning.
Right.
Me and them head ahead. Them so relax and all that. But I can't, because if you get a bad name, it's not they're going to say, oh, it's not the band. It's who? Me.
Willie
No,
Stewart.
sir. Willie Stewart. No, sir. Before that, no. So the importance of is to do your best at all times. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you do it, because you know, whenever we're there on set, getting ready to perform, or the years when I'm not on stage, I've always said to you, I don't know how you do it. I think there's probably triplets, and we don't know. Maybe a three Willie around there. I wouldn't know, but I don't know how you manage all of that stuff.
Well, let's talk about the last show that you was at. I mean, after doing 7 shows and Rhythms of Africa, let me explain to my wonderful audience that you have here. Hey, big up to you all. First of all, let me say something quickly. Toots, who is one of the greatest icons of music, I want us all really pray, because we know that it is how they induced him, had to put him in a coma since he's with the COVID situation, and I just prayed for healing for him, because and Jamaica, I'm praying for healing, and we know it's like election time in Jamaica, and that hopefully that'll be peaceful, and that this COVID thing really kind of try and pass Jamaica, because we know what we're going through up here, but right now them have to take it serious. Them have to take it serious, because if it go there and it start getting out there, we don't have enough beds. We don't have enough doctors or nurses, and we definitely have none of respirators.
Right.
So Baba is and what happened if it get community, which is on the brink of going in the community? What happened? So I pray to God. I said, please do not, please have mercy on our little land. Have mercy, because if we get that, trust me, America couldn't handle it. More or less Jamaica. So we have to really, pray for that for all the people in America. Believe me, I feel it. And this is where I see that with all the people that has died through COVID, the one, I think is 170 something thousand, and the world, all of that, the world is in trouble. The world right now is like nature is revolting against us. Everything. We're in a different world. We have to find, and that's why I say, when I sit down here and you say, boy, you're sitting down. No, music is needed more than any time else.
Yeah.
Music of a higher consciousness. Music that will empower our people. Music that will help the sorrow within people. This is the time when Bob Marley talked about Armageddon. That was spiritual. And we thought it had gone. This is the physical side of it. We have to find that inner peace. The musicians have to come forward. When we get locked down, this is a way of God saying to us, what do you need? And if I give you a chance to live, what are you giving back? Are you coming with slackness? Or are you going to give the food? Are you going to talk truth? Are you going to give back something that is more valuable than just being a star up there or doing something that is not helping the tomorrow? And if Bob Marley was here today, what would he say? God made him write songs that every song can relate to us today. Every song that he have is for a thing. The man looked at the short of his life.
Right.
We as musicians have to look differently on this. We have to look and start healing. Music is healing for the soul. Music can take someone crying and feeling upliftment. We need proper messages, conscious music. There's some that is doing it, but we need to start doing more now. Now is the time to write. Get your pens ready. Write your ideas. Write so people can relate to it, because now is where people are going to need music to help them to do the next move, wherever it's going to be.
That is so true. That is so true. And I definitely appreciate ones like yourself speaking about it, because people will listen. Sometimes we feel like they don't listen, but I do think people do listen. So I appreciate you speaking to the masses, imparting some words of wisdom on them. Speaking of words of wisdom, we talk about the writing side of things. And a lot of time people see the musician, the drummer up there, and they see Mr. Willie up there. But again, we're not shining away from the rearview mirror, because your history, your legacy is so profound that I think a lot of people don't even realize. I'm going to talk about a couple of people who you've worked with on the opposite side, being a producer, being a songwriter for. Let's start with one of the greatest voices ever. I remember seeing a list come out one time talking about greatest singers out of Jamaica, and it violated in my ears and my eyes, because it didn't have these two names on there. D Brown and never have any Bunny Ruggs. You worked with Bunny Ruggs as the lead singer of Third World, but you've also, after departing, you've also worked with him as a producer songwriter on a solo venture, which I think is a collab with him, and you'll tell us about it. But what I want to say to you is this: Talk to me about Bunny Ruggs, the artist Bunny Rugg, whether it be in third world or on his solo ventures, working with Bunny Ruggs. What was the experience like?
Well, I did do a lot of solo work with Bunny Ruggs,
Mhm.
but the thing is that when I met Bunny, I knew Bunny. I don't know if I knew Bunny. But I think I might have been the first. I'm not 100% sure to have seen him because there was a group called Charles Bogle and the Teddy Boys that used
Mhm.
to play in Havendale, and they used to wear turtlenecks.
Mhm.
And Bunny was a little older than us, and I see him singing then and playing guitar and high boots, and that's how I saw him then. And Bunny always had um, yeah, a little boastiness about him, but he
Yeah.
rightfully do that, you know. But
Yeah.
then his voice matched the boastiness, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
And his singing was phenomenal. I would tell you a story about Bunny. We had to go and take voice lessons. By the way, I used to sing in with third world harmonies. Don't tell
Right.
anybody. Uh, I I'm not a singer, right? So I'm singing sometime. In the first part of third world, you see me sing. And one day Boo looked at me and says, Willie, I think you should concentrate on the drums. And I thought about it and I said, he's right. 'Cause- but anyway, we had to go voice lessons in Los Angeles.
Right.
So while we're doing Stevie Wonder album, we Stevie sent us to this the greatest teacher of all. He did Michael Jackson actors and anybody who name anybody. You go for voice training and musical lessons.
Mhm.
And we went to Seth Riggs, his name is. We went to him for training. Of course, he looked at me and said, all right, you can do this harmony. You see when him hear Bunny Rocks,
Yeah.
him say, you have a virtuous voice.
Wow.
You, like him would have said, if you sing, God would have come down because he
Wow.
could go all the keys. I mean, it was there. And it was really, really fun. I said, boy, if you take care of your voice, the sky's the limit. You
Mhm.
know, he really had praise. I'll never forget that. But Bunny loved music. Bunny's voice, that R&B sound, anywhere Bunny. In fact, when we were in Europe, Bunny said one time that he's the voice of third world. And I got vexed. I said,
Right.
who the ass this man is? Boy,
Right.
we're talking about now that we until because we're trying to do another version of Now That We Found Love. But
Right.
Bunny didn't want to do it. But you know, I live to regret that because the truth is that he is.
Right.
Because when you hear Bunny, you automatically, it was so, from Now That We Found Love, the harmonies of Third World with
Mhm.
Bunny coming in
Yeah.
was, as an ID. From you hear it, you know it's Third World.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you know, the uniqueness, his way of expressing, his way. Really, Bonnie Clark's father is a preacher. You know? Bonnie's really a
Mm.
preacher. If Bonnie gets
Mm.
serious, so
Yeah.
it's a man that if him say a message, he's gonna sing a message.
Right.
And even when you try your love, it's a message. That's a preacher. That's a preacher. When you try your love and certain things, you say that is his. I believe if he had a chance, if God had given him a chance to be with us a little longer, I feel he would end up on that pulpit. He might have fight it, but I think he would have ended up right there, to be truthful.
Wow.
He has a preaching voice.
Right.
That's
Right.
him,
Right.
right? And let me talk about another man. You see a man like Ibu Cooper?
Mhm.
We call him the
The,
mad
the
scientist.
legend, the great.
A genius,
Yep.
a
Yep. Yep.
genius, a genius, regardless of what them say. Ibu heard certain things in his mind that he
Mhm.
knew how to put it. Because remember, he did go to his auntie was a classical teacher. So
Right.
Ibu, out of all of us, Ibu had one more degree to go to get his LRSM. He went to eighth grade classical piano.
Wow.
So when he hear those chords, he could go and put it together with us, hearing us, and it was incredible. You know, I must give to. I thought that sometimes you hear about things and you might hear it one-sided, but third world
Right.
success was based on the six man, basically Bonnie Clark, Cat Core, Richard Bailey, Carrot, who am I out? I'm out,
Ibu
Ibu, and myself,
and
right?
yourself.
Those were the six man that today, without apology, the band is eating today based on the foundation that
Right.
those man them did. It was not an easy job. We
Right.
worked, we worked,
Right.
we
Right.
worked.
Right.
And believe me, in the hardest of times, it was not easy to do it. When we left Jamaica to tour, It was based as ambassador. That's where we get the name ambassador,
Right.
right? Because we went out to put Jamaica flag high when we played, and we played some incredible concerts. You can't forget that. You can't.
Not at all.
And they're riding on the basis of that.
Right.
So, you know, big respect to that. Anyway, go ahead, sir. I didn't mean
No. And guess what? I love it, because here the thing I'll say is that word love and synergy, it floats around amongst, you know, the members, and I love it. I love it. Now there's another name that you didn't work with as a producer, songwriter, but being in his presence and your presence at the same time, there was I could feel the love, the synergy, and I could also feel the loss after we lost him. Talk to me a little bit about Carrot Jarrett.
Carrot Jarrett, man. An incredible human being. Incredible. Carrot Jarrett was a man who very talented. When I came into the band, Carrot treated me really, really, really good, because he would talk to me, do things. The man could make us sandals. He used to make sandals. I know people know that. Make sandals. Every woman wanted the sandals, you know, leather. It was an incredible leather. Without him working, everybody want the sandals that Carrot make. Yeah, man. Wow. He makes some bag. The man, if he want, he was unbelievable. Wow. And his percussive work. As he said in the video with Third World at the time, that his father was a percussionist, his brother's a percussionist, so why not him? And his percussions was, I think that was fantastic. The spirit, when we played, in fact, this is how it go. When we're in the bus, if I start tapping, Ibu start tapping, or Carrot, all three of us start. It was a telepathy that was with us. Wow. That is how, now that we found love, I know that we talk about things, but things come up. Sometimes
right.
It's supposed to be after Toro.
Anyway, no, man, go. Listen, I've heard some of the stories the masses have not. So please,
let me set the story straight. And this story is, now that we found love was a jam in Nassau Compass Point. Now, Ibu started because when we used to go, Ibu and myself and Carl would go and get a sound check, because the drums take a lot of mics to mic up. The percussions, and Ibu would come back around to make sure the keyboard's there and make sure everything is good. So we're in doing their jamming. We're there jamming and getting everything ready. And the engineer was Alex Stadkin, who did Bob Marley, and I think it's Foreigner. I want to know what love is. Him do all that. I used to see him for hours listening. I said, what did this man listen? But if you listen to Journey to Addis album, it is an incredible sound. The man found a drum and bass and voice sound that was spectacular. So he's there. So we're jamming. And Ibu started to play these chords. And start jamming. And then the Carrot start jamming. But Ibu knew the song that he was doing. So he's singing. I said, boy, how Ibu come? What is this? And I started doing chikak, kadum, chikak, kadum. And then all of the parts, we started to play in it. And that was a jam. And then what happened now, there was a timbale in the room. And then Cat Ritchie and Bunny came. And then Cat went in and started to play the timbale solo parts of it and things like that. And started playing the timbale edge and all that. And that's how we go. That is how the biggest song, one of the biggest songs that we have to date, was a jam.
Organic.
And that's what it is. And how you know it so? Because if you listen to my playing on it, there's, I can talk it now because I'm not in the band. But in one part when it goes, and love, and I make a roll and it slightly go off. Right. Because remember, when you're playing there, you can't, they never had, they could, like nowadays, you can move the drum.
Right.
You had to play live. So whatever you play, your thing is, you're on the clock by yourself. Right. So that's me clocking all the way there. So it go off a little bit because I was jamming and all of a sudden, boom, the song become the thing, you know. So that's how that went.
The story, no, I get, no matter how many times I hear the story, it's like the first time to me. And that's some of the biggest songs, you know, some of the biggest songs in the world come from organic origins like those. You know,
I'm telling you, and look here, when we went to Stevie Wonder's studio, Stevie looks and says, Willie, no, he played this song, Playing Us Too Close. Give me that reggae thing, man. You don't go move him head. That's in the area. Give me that reggae thing. Do, 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 do. So listen, when people go to Stevie Wonder's studio, I'm going to tell you the story go that, you know that Jermaine Jackson did Let's Get Serious. Remember that song there? Right. Well, that's Stevie Wonder song, you know. So when Jermaine came, he had to go to the studio. It's 14 times the matter record it nearly. The matter fly and come back because I'm never happy with the rhythm. The man
Stevie was not.
Yes, Stevie it was a perfectionist. He is.
Right.
So when Stevie so every man, his engineers, sometimes night and day mean nothing to him, Because when he said to me, how it go, let me tell you how the connection go. Stevie Wonder heard from a friend of ours, I can't remember the name, in England, played the song. Because I think we had a song called Hooked on Love, and he heard it and played it for him. He said, "Oh, I love that, man. I love that song." That time was to start going. And I think prior to that, Ibu must have met him at a convention, maybe a week before, some convention. But then he came to Jamaica, and I heard that he was there. So I went to Ocho Rios to meet the great Steve. I said, "Steve, how are you?" I said, "Oh, great. And he was playing. He was jamming with Happiness. He used to play those. Right where you there? Right the place where they Hilltons. There, so in your area. Did you see him, sir? Were you there when he was there?
No, I did not.
How old was you, sir?
It's probably that's like 7, 8.
So you should have come. Anyway, listen. So I go and talk to him and thing and good. I'm saying, boy, you're going to come Kingston, you're going to go visit me. So he came, it's like 2 days after, he called me and said, boy, I'm coming. So he comes on, arrives at my house. I was living in Red Hills at 7 o'clock. Well, let me tell you something. My whole neighborhood, they're there to meet him. It was unbelievable. He come sit down, ate something, and then Ibu and myself and him took him to Sheridan, hang out. Then he came back to my house and spent all night listening to all third world records. Right there, I played it and I told him, say, listen. And he told me, said, great, but sometimes you must leave. He used this word, we must leave the grit in it. Sometimes you must leave the noise in the songs. I said, yeah. And he left and everything. So what happened now is that we started having a little relationship with him then, Then now, when Bob left us, he called me and said, boy, Willie, I'm very, 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 what can I do? I'm very, I'm torn. It was like he was in tears.
Right.
And I said, Stevie, well, we're playing for Sunsplash. We're doing Sunsplash as a tribute to him. He said, boy, maybe I can make that. And sure he did. And so when everybody didn't know, because there was a whole thing, and Babsy was there, nobody knew if it was definite.
Right.
So that time we was at Wyndham, I think, Rose Hall. And he had a room there, we were practicing what we're going to do. And the crew knew, because remember, with Sunsplash, you're going on 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Remember, or them, right? So when it reached, we do our set and everybody, and then Stevie comes on. Man, it was like deja vu. It was like poetry. Everything, Master Blaster, was like everybody could not believe it.
Wow.
They could not believe it. And I'll give you a little joke. So the police supposed to be on the standby so that when Stevie come, them guide him and guard him,
Right.
When Stevie come out to the car, hear the police. Oh, Stevie wanted out. Why, everybody? I mean, it was
no, but wow. But that's Stevie though, so I'm not surprised,
Yeah, man, yeah. So
I think I would act that way. I'm a grown man. Stevie Wonder.
Right. Well, Richard was there too, and you could hear. Listen, it's on YouTube, the live. They said that everybody must put. I'm sorry that someone never did a video, but it's on YouTube. There's the track, and you hear us playing the Master Blaster. He took drums and jammed with me and all the way forward. Then he played that, and we played Redemption Song. It was a night. 30,000 people in, I think, Jarrett Park.
Right.
Something else.
Wow.
Something else. So that's how. And then hold on. After that, now, Stevie looked at me and said, Willie. I said, yeah. Him said to me, I'm going to write a song for you. Because we were going to play next 2 weeks at the Black Music. It was called Black Music something in a big Pasadena, 60,000 people.
This is okay.
So, but now listen now, we are getting ready. We are getting ready to go on tour. So we're playing there and we're going to Europe because Dancing on the Floor, if I'm not mistaken, could have been number 14 on the English British charts. So we all the tour set up to go. Anyway, we arrive at Pasadena and Stevie comes on and jam with us. And these are my brothers.
Right.
And then he whispers to me and said, Willie, I have a song for you. Mr. Gregory, what do we do? I put the question to you.
No tour.
But listen, money, hold on. Money, money invest already.
Right.
Promoters Record is moving. Record is number 14, moving up. CBS just signed us. Well, we had a manager called USCs. We have a meeting and we said, boy, what is the thing? Can Stevie, will he be ready if we come back? And he's so busy. Immediately, boom, we park, everything. Stay in LA, book all houses, what you call it, apartments. Each one of us, we have two-bedroom apartments. Two of us will stay, in each one. Bam, start go to office. So here what now? This is the joke. So in the morning now, I don't know why, Stevie Wonder will always be talking to me for some reason. Most of the time, talk to everybody. But when it comes to business and all that, him always coming to me.
Right.
So fine. So he calls me 5 o'clock in the morning. There's Willie, you're up. I say, well, I'm up. Tell the guys come over now. I start in my head. I start to see Bunny Ruggs. I start to see him at 5 o'clock in the morning. How would he feel? Worse, cat. if they never go bed late, how would I say we're ready for go studio? Fire. I said, Stevie. I said, Stevie, I don't think the guys are ready right now. Could we go in the evening? He says, okay. And listen, when that man going on, it's him teach me, because him said that whatever noise, whatever you play, put it down on tape, record it, because that can be tomorrow. It's like you give money to the bank. Right. He said that if you a little idea, anything, record it. That's why I'm recording every day, because it's like putting money in the bank. You don't know when you might need it. And he taught me that. And then the rest is history. And then we did Playing Us Too Close, and we did Try Your Love in the pocket. And in us doing the pocket, Stevie goes, so give me that phone love thing, man. Give me that phone love thing. And the good thing about it is that the rhythm section, we did one take. The first with Playing Us Too Close, one take. The second thing, Try Your Love, one take.
Wow.
With other stuff that you want to put in, developing the song, singing the artist, that's the rest. But the rhythm section, one take.
Wow.
So can you believe it? One take.
One of my faves that's in a Try Your Love is one of my favorite third world songs. I always find it difficult to ask curators, creators, songwriters, musicians, artists about faves. So I won't ask you what's your favorite third world song. What I'll ask you is this. You mentioned Stevie came to the house. You guys were sitting out there listening to third world albums. Which third world album? Not necessarily your favorite, but which third world album connects with you the most?
Well, let's put it this way. I said it already, because a lot of people ask me that. Well, in my life, in my time with third world, I'm talking about. My favorite album, I have to say two, would be 96 Degrees in the Shade.
Right.
There's an engineer called Sylvan Morris. When you look at him, he look very unassuming, but he have ears that's unbelievable.
Wow.
And Harry J. Studer, when we went there and played there, it was a chance where Bunny came into the band, and there was a little militancy in us, and innovative, great innovations, and we wanted all of this to come out, and we were able to do it in '96. And to me, that was a work of art, a work of art that was both sound. And today, let me tell you something. Sonic Sound distribute that record. You hear me? Listen to this carefully. Sonic Sound distribute 96 Degrees in the Shade. Colin, I think it was Cavlip. We were on the label of Cavlip, which was Third World's label. And so Colin Leslie was the manager then. He would bring the labels and so that you can know what sell.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you know that 96 sell in the Caribbean and Jamaica 50,000 copies.
Wow. And this was what year is this we're talking about?
We're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I went in the band 1976. If I went in the band 97, it got to be 1977 or 77. 76, 77.
Right.
50,000 copies in the Caribbean. And when we go on tour around the whole world, everybody sing the song and know the words of 96. Wow. And yet, them say it never sell. I think so. I leave that question. I leave that to
you. So we're going to leave it out there. You know, I find it amazing.
Hold on. Sorry, Mr. Cole. You asked the question, so I have to answer the other part.
The second part.
My other album that I really love is Journey to Addis.
I knew you were going to say that.
We went on tour, not tour. We went on a retreat. We went on a retreat to Portland. this was I think it was a more spiritual connection.
Right.
We decided we're gonna give up everything for 2 weeks. We went to Titchfield High School. We run, we eat good food. We had meetings all day. The crew had to set up in the school. We did show. We did music lessons. Ibu was a teacher, and we did music lessons. I was head of sports, in other words, training. So I would train them on them and things like that. Everybody had a different situation to cover. And believe me, it was an unbelievable retreat. And then we left there and went to Nassau. And when you listen to the album, the sound, it is unbelievable. Amazing. The others are great, you know, but there's something special in those two that is like it was a spiritual togetherness. It was like we did something that was deeper than you know the coming together. It was really a unity call for everybody.
Now it's amazing that time frame you're talking about in Portland. Is that when you guys filmed? No.
That film
That's in the Street
was after. Prisoner Street was filmed after. Was filmed in Journey to Addis, after Journey to Addis.
Okay.
That was like probably 78, 79 in that region there. That was then when the guy came, La Perouse, Jerome came in and did it. I mean, that was a trip by itself. I mean, the way we did it and captured everybody. That was 8mm. In fact, do you know that film, Prisoner Street, was shown at Carib Theatre?
I heard about that, and it's funny. It's funny. A lot of people haven't, because I showed the entire. You know, I had to talk to you and say, "Yo, can I?" I showed the film, right, and the reaction that the people gave to that one, not just the original Third World fans, but I'm talking about the people who came on later on, is like you got an insight into a time, into an era that you wouldn't have otherwise seen. I kind of feel almost like the film wasn't even supposed to be done. It's like you capture. It's almost like you have a camera capturing some backstage footage, and then you release it to the masses. What was the reaction? Because you're now on film, you're doing music and all that stuff. So now here comes the movie, Prison in the Streets. It's in Carib Theatre. What was the effect of that film on the masses, and how that affected you and Third World at that time?
When we went to open night at Carib, it was very interesting because you're there, and it's a really funny feeling when you see yourself on the screen and people start cheering after and say, "Boy, nice," they like it, because it was more of being an ambassador. You're doing stuff, and in fact, Prisoner Street represented each. Is like, look where I am. I was in a school talking to children. Where I end up there. Ibu is a philosopher, the mad scientist, but incredible, a philosopher of his own rights. Nobody knows music better than him and everything. I did a great job at Enna Mandley, right? Cat, love him guitar, him is way there. Richie, love the thing, him is way there. Bunny, do what him do, if singing and thing. But it's like everybody, it was a preview to what you end up doing, if you know what I'm saying. You know? And doing the film together was really, but sometimes, remember, we came together like when we danced together on Carrot. We went to St. Anne's Bay for night for going, you know, you go to do a dance and to show that aspect of it, which was great. And there was other aspects and things, but a lot of it was done like when he did Bunny did it by himself. You know, he did. I happened to do part of my life, because what he wanted to do is say, what was your everyday life?
Right.
And so mine was involved in jogging. And there was my wife and my two, they're big now, Lisa and Keisha. They're running, and I'm running with them, and my brother Paul. We're running in this front there, and then I'm taking exercise because I used to go to the gym often. Then you just go training me and all that, and then you show the children in the school and all that. So I mean, it was a great feeling. That's all I could say. It was a really great feeling.
I love that. I really love that film. We talk about Third World, talk about Willie Stewart, we talk about the music and the catalog. A lot of it, we chalk it up to, let's say it's reggae. I deem it international reggae. I personally feel like it was, you guys are the first ones to actually hone in on that, what we call the international sound. Other people are doing it, but I don't think anybody mastered it before Third World. So here you are now, post Third World. If you're involved in music, I'm expecting you to be involved in, of course, you know, reggae music and some similar sounds of Third World. But here comes Lieutenant Stitchy with a song called Night and Day. All right, a lot of people don't have any idea that that's a Willie Stewart. And you know what's funny is yesterday I'm driving down 5 hours on the road. Who called me on the phone? Lieutenant Stitchy. Yep.
You told him? You told him?
Yep.
What did he say to you?
Well, actually, Yeah, he said he mentioned to me. He said, "Yeah, that's Willie Stewart," and he was telling me about being in the studio. And I said, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "Stop him, because I don't want to hear the story until tomorrow."
Well,
So you tell me.
Well, up in the hills, I had my studio. So my studio is like, it was in the basement
Mm-hmm.
of the house. We have a 3-story house. So that at night in Red Hills, when the light go on, you don't need no light. It lights up the whole place. So when you look, it was a panoramic view of the
Mm-hmm.
whole city. So it was always inspiration. You could see Blue Mountain. So you're always inspired being up there. So
Right.
Stitchy come up there and we said, boy, I have this song I want to do. And I start going with him. I said, boy, night and day. Have me dancing night. And Jeffrey Chung, who's really my cousin in a way, and thing,
Right.
was the producer. So Jeffrey, I would have worked with Jeffrey with a lot of little projects. Because
Right.
in my off time with Third World, I would be writing. So my writing started actually within Third World.
Right.
Um, because at first the great Lemurials of writing was
Right.
Ibu, Clark, and Cora.
Right.
You know,
The trifecta.
the 3 C's.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot about the 3 C's. So when the 3 C's come on to something, you say, watch here. Me as a percussionist, let me stay what it is,
Yeah.
and think. But as the albums progressed, Carrot did Always Around, which started to, and thing, and then we start to write together. And then so as a group, we all start to write further on. And then I had a chance to give God thanks to I don't know, remember at Children of the World or something like I wrote in one
Mm-hmm.
of the albums. And then I start like Jaja Children Moving Up when we was doing Stevie Wonder album. I think that's where then we started doing that, like Jaja Children Moving Up. And that is where I started to get input more. And then
Right.
gradually I started to write. But anyway, back to Stitchy. So that is how Stitchy came along. And I used to work with a lot of artists in my spare time. So when we had downtime, I would have the studio, which is called Peak Studio.
Mm-hmm.
And we released, let me put this song here first. Um, My First Real Love, that song was #1 in Jamaica for 5 weeks, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me
And
hold on, hold on, Mr. Willie. Hold on. One of my for the people who be like, "Oh, which song that again?" I've said it here over and over. One of my favorite songs of all time. Every time I hear that song, my mom's not watching none of that, so it's okay. Every time I hear that song, high school class party in the back of the class, trying to wind up on somebody's daughter that I should not have been doing. But the thing is, it's one of my favorite songs all time, and I am not the only one. I'm talking about this song right here. I'm gonna get my piece.
And I don't want to miss it now. They may think I'm a fool for loving you. They don't know what we have is so special. Time and time as I see you, I love you more. It feels so good, and I don't want to let it go. Just one kiss, and I'm in ecstasy. Hold me close and make sweet love to me. And that's why I have to say to you, it's my first real love out of all you.
All right.
listen, when let me give the kudos, the credits.
Right.
Direct Wisdom, who sings backup for Beres Hammond, who's a harmony singer.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is that my brother Paul, God bless his soul, who's not here with me now, but God bless him, came up and I had just with my studio on the hill, I just got a new board called the Akai. And I
Right.
just put it in a day before. And Paul comes to me and said, boy, I have this artist. She's great. She has this song, she has these lyrics and words and thing. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I forget the musicians together, you know? And I got Neville Hines from Byron Lee, Ian Hurd, Pablo played, myself, and one more person. But we said, okay. So the deal was is that she has the lyrics and everything, but we couldn't pay the musician. So it's composition. So everybody was part of the song. She came up with the idea, wrote that
Right.
part, and we all was part. And my daughter, Alika Hendricks. Now, Alika was the engineer. My daughter was a part of the engineer from the age of 14,
Wow.
13, 12.
Wow.
Big up to Alika. Big up. She's big now in Caribbean, big human resources, but she was a genius. And when great engineers come, is she have to tell them how to run my studio. Can you imagine that little girl there? She
14.
loved music, man. Yeah, we did an album. My daughter did most of the taking of the tracks for a Drizzle album. Yeah, that was unbelievable. So when when the people heard that song, First We Love, they thought it was a Dolly Parton tune and we covered it. They don't realize it's original. Today on YouTube, someone put it up there, so I'm just telling them they have to take it down because I own the rights to that song and it's going to be released soon. So you better take it down off there because Peak Great House has the masters to it. It's our company song together.
Right.
And guess what happened? About 3-4 years ago, Shanti and Beanie Man did part of that song, my first on a dance hall.
Right.
And then that is why I had to go back and get all the business straight because to make sure everything is right. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to go buy the song because when you make records in Jamaica,
right,
there's no money to make. Right. And I feel this song has never been given to the world, and everybody can remember their first real love.
There are certain songs that are etched, and what I'm talking about, there's two of them. That's that one, and there's a Cheryl Franklin. That songs that whenever I play those songs, people lose their minds. I'm talking about people everybody who, I was in high school in 1993 and up, right? Like 89, 99, 91, all them times coming up. And I'm talking about for that 5-year period right there, that song was played every day, every bus, every place.
Let me tell you something. It was I think Carly Davis might have been bigger. Carly Davis had a song called Stealing Love on the Side.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest songs, I think. But I would be surprised if Drizzle song, My First Love, is in at least the top 4 for Jamaica, I think, there, because it was like, I think, and people didn't realize that was original. I remember at that time, I couldn't do a video. If I did a video, it would have gone bigger. But I couldn't do a video at that time.
Right.
You know, I mean, I couldn't because of that. So, but it was, believe me, I'm so proud of her. And I did a whole album, which I'm going to talk to. I'm not talked to recently, but I intend to do stuff. That is what we're talking about now. The other side.
Right. The other side. I'm talking about the other side of it.
Let's turn over what we're doing now and continue. Listen, people, election happened in Jamaica. Can you tell us what's happening a little bit while we talk and keep your company so we can see who's going to win? Yes. Go ahead.
I hope they're doing it safely.
So other artists that I had the pleasure of working with. The first song I did in Jamaica was that I did in Jamaica was with Cynthia Slush, Meritone, Cynthia Slush and Meritone, and it was called Loving is what I've got. I can't sing though. I need to share it with someone who would care for me and make my dreams come true. Anyway, don't tell nobody I sing it. But that was the first one, which was a nice thing. Came out. That was the first song. And then I did one for Colin Davis and he goes, once there is love in your heart. It's my songs always have this love thing, you know. I'm always this love feeling. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a love baby. I'm born February the 15th. So day after Valentine's.
That explains. That explains
it all. Yeah, so that explains. So and then I did that, and then which if you're gonna touch the song now with Boris now, you now go. They can't take it off, man. Because you have it. No, you don't have it. You don't have it.
Which one? I'm gonna give you a piece of this one first. This is Cynthia.
Yes.
Let's touch that piece.
This is when Stylistics was popular long ago. Stylistics and all them. So
this one is I love this song.
Hines and myself did that.
It's a big tune.
Has no spoken word. It's a magic deep within. A feeling that you can't control. Just believe this love for you. Oh, so timeless, oh, so true. It's sure to bring you happiness. 'Cause loving is all to share it with someone who will
I love it. People,
so listen, loving it, listen,
underrated.
loving is what loving. Listen, when it came to me, when writing came to, listen to this. When I went to Japan and thing, and I came back and I got this little Yamaha. I don't know if you know, little 4-track recorder. I had some of the most inventive. And one night I'm in a bed and I said, Carol, I'm hearing something in my head. And my wife looked at me, my wonderful wife, Carol Short, says, go and record it now. It's like you want to go bathroom. I run downstairs at 2 o'clock and start recording the idea. And that was how that song came about. And,
wow.
And then Heinz worked with me on it, and we got that. So it's like in Jamaica, it's like I had a chance while I'm doing, it's like I'm doing 2 different things. Trying to be a songwriter. Because remember, the 3 C's.
Right.
Were there. So I was a little Willie, you know, that's going through. So I had to hold my own thing in songwriting.
Right.
So I started to write books of things, of poems, and my daughter Lika could attest to that because she would help me do stuff and write down things and all. That was amazing. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
No. I see. Like I said, I'm soaking in because some of it I don't know. I did. Cynthia Slash to me is a treasure. She's a national.
Yes. She was a fantastic, and her brother Mike, big up, kudos to them because she was so a gentle person, a beautiful person. And she says, Willie, I like the sound. Yeah, man. And Winston was a fantastic person. And it was on the Winston label because how I got back the song is that I called Winston's brother recently and he showed me the label so I could get back the label because all them times, you know, listen to this. I didn't even register the song because I was so busy doing third world songs. And when you're doing Jamaica, you say, well, all right. Jamaica was a testing ground.
Yeah.
That is why I know First Real Love, my First Real Love, is a #1 song. Whether it's that version or someone cover it, it's a #1 song. America don't hear it yet.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
There's some others that don't, but I use Jamaica because if you can hit in Jamaica, the world, because it's a platform, the world can take it. You know where you stand. So it's a barometer to see where you are.
That is absolutely true. We're talking about working with, because here's the thing, you know, working with artists is one thing, but you know, creating your own legacy, your own legend while working on establishing, whether it's intentional or not, the legacy and the legend of others. I'm talking about, let me play something for you real quick.
Yes, sir.
In my mind, I see your lovely face. It sets a fire burning inside of me. To think you are so simple and naive, you'll never know exactly how I feel about a love so real. I want your love inside of me, my love inside of you. Let's give our love.
Before them shut it off. All right, that's Boris Gardner. That's Boris right there.
Listen, let me get a story about Boris Gardner.
Yeah.
When we were younger, like when I was in Visions and Inner Circle, when we done, you know, we run to catch the Boris Gardner happening at Courtly Manor, you know. We did a sit down as on, but that was our musical lesson. Boris is the most coolest man. When he sit down, he's talking, and his eloquence, his the way his diction is smooth velvet. And so I've always been a fan of Boris Gardner. So when I had a chance and the song came up, Stephen Stewart and myself did that song, and Jeffrey Chung helped produce it. And them times there was no video. No. We watching MTV. So Stephen Stewart said, let's watch it. We're going to take, I wish I could find the video. Stephen Stewart take him camera and we're going to make the scene and put on TV. The tune. Listen, your love inside of me went #2 on the BBC charts. And it was popular. I think that was an incredible, I'm really happy. He sang the diction, he sang the song perfectly. I couldn't ask for no more. Excellent.
Amazingly, to me, and I've said this over and over, I feel like Boris Gardner is the quintessential love Jamaican, I'm not going to say reggae, Jamaican love song singer. Boris Gardner is the one that made me want to sing a love song with I Want to Wake Up With You. So when I discovered that you were a part of this one, it was heaven for me. I'll say that much. But not just this one. You've been a part of some other.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about Boris Gardner.
Yeah.
Boris Gardner play a lot of the hit songs that
Yep.
you listen in reggae music for bass
Yep.
man. He's a fantastic bass man. Some of the
Yeah.
things, because remember when used to put on them, not put the musicians who play on it. A lot
No
of the bass
credits.
lines you hear
Yeah.
is Boris Gardner himself played. God bless him, soul is there. I mean, I talked to him about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Incredible. Still up. Anyway, go ahead, sir. Don't let me.
No, trust me. Tell me the stories, because I'm loving it. Again, one of my favorites.
Listen, while we wait, listen, let's have a time now. And now you're listening to Homegrown, the great, the one and all. Listen, we want 1 million people to tune in, especially if you're bored, you won't get bored, because we always have someone interested. For the Mr. Cole is doing a fantastic job. For his work and how he does it, believe me, artists will have to book you a year ahead to get on your show, because you have a way of doing stuff that is so unique. You're born with a talent. And hold on a second, as a singer, let's talk about you. I have played on your song that I have loved. Can you tell the public, please, about that? Well, I have played on your song that I love that song.
It's a well, I'll tell you this. First of all, the song is great, but this is another testament to the character of the man himself, why we say I love Mr. Willie Stewart. This is my first album. I'm an artist. You've never heard of me, right? It's not like I have hits out there or whatever the case may be. Working on my first project, and I'm introduced to Mr. Willie Stewart and say, Mr. Willie, listen to this. What do you think? Most musicians of your stature and your caliber would give me a good advice and say, yeah, man, keep doing what you think, whatever the case may be. Step away from it. But no, give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, the song is being mixed with drums laid down by Mr. Willie Stewart. And of course, there's somebody in the chat right now, Kwame Wallen is in the chat right now.
Big up to Kwame. And Stephen too.
And Stephen Chung. Yeah, man.
Big up.
Because they played that song with me for years as we traveled and go around playing that Kwame's a drummer. Trust me.
I want you to play that song in the future because I love it. To me, it's a big tune.
I
love it. I love it. It's a big tune. It's a big tune.
You know,
I listen, I want to manage you when I get older.
we'll get there. You know, it's funny thing, Mr. Willie. Somebody asked me why I don't play that song, you know. And amazingly enough, it's my song, but when I play it, they cut the show. So that's a long story.
Whoa. That's it. All right, go ahead.
But all that says is my paperwork is in order. But the thing is, whenever I play it, the thing get cut because of the licensing stuff. But Kwame said, big up Mr. Uncle Willie. Purpose Chung, big up yourself.
Big up Purpose, yeah, man.
But you're a part of a lot of, put it this way, and I always say legends endorse other legends, create legendary work. I like to use the analogy, iron sharpen iron. One of our other greats, Mr. Freddie McGregor.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Hold on. Let me give you the story about Freddie.
Yes.
When I was in Visions playing, I used to play at St. Margaret's Church. All the bands would have band clash. You have the clash, we had band clash, and I'd be there. And Freddie used to play in, is it Generation Gap? I think he was in Generation Gap. He was the lead singer, and we would clash there. I used to see him from there, and I lived in Ligonier, and he lived up the road there. So Mona, I think, and that is how we all met and knew each other. You know,
Freddie McGregor,
Freddie man, it was sing.
But that song. You did with Freddie. That one was released. It was released on VP Records.
It was released on VP. But what happened is this, and this song is called Very Special Lady. Now, how did that song come? I think it was recording in New Jersey. Third World was recording Serious Business. Yeah, Serious Business. I think it was Serious Business. Yes, I want to believe it's Serious Business. We were recording. Or anyway, or Sense of Purpose, one of them. And while we were in New Jersey recording, by the way, the studio was recording. It was Isaac Brothers who record there.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Orange,
Mr. Biggs himself.
Mr. Biggs himself. So when you hear the studio, when you go in there, you know it is. So we're recording there, and the manager of the studio decided that he wanted he was getting married, and he was so nice to us. So about 2 days before the marriage and the things, before he was the ceremony, they said you know, we should do something. So Ibu that night put some cards down, put some cards down on the piano, you know. And when he done, I said, give me a copy of it. Give me a copy of the thing. And I went all night, stayed up, and wrote the song, Very Special Lady. Now, listen to this joke. We needed someone to sing it for the wedding. So all of a sudden,
Wow.
some person said, oh, we know a person. There's a fireman. I said, a fireman? Really? What a fireman can do? I mean, fireman is supposed to be doing fire. What are you talking about? Now I must say, this guy can sing. But
Yeah.
when the man sing the song, it was like paparazzi. It was unbelievable. And we
Wow.
used that song, and it was given. So me and Babu did that song, and it was given. They played it for the wedding as a demo.
Right,
And
right,
then
right.
I said, boy, we should release the song. I talked to Boo, and then we still played it for Freddie. And Freddie said, love it. So we went down, and I think we recorded it at Dynamics or Wonder Studios with Freddie, and that is how that song came about.
Special Lady. We're talking about this right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I can feel the secrets deep hidden in your heart. I crave for your touch. That's why I just have to say I love you, and I'll cherish you through the winding turns in life.
All right, we're not getting cut tonight. We're not getting cut. We're not getting a shortcut tonight. We're not getting a show. It's a sprinkler thing. Yeah, like a piece of the legacy.
Right. So that's what we call Very Special Lady, because it was like a very special lady. It's for you get married to someone. If you're a man and you're getting married to someone, that must be a very special lady. So I wrote that. So how I find is that lyrics sometimes in writing songs, some songs come naturally, like when my mother left us, and maybe about 3 weeks before, it's like I was in tears. I mean, I just knew that her time was going to come up, and it's like someone gave me a pen, and I wrote down. There's a song called "With God You're Never Alone," and I wrote the whole 4 verses. It's like it come on a golden card, and I'm going to definitely. I had she sing with the Marleys them. I think she was Ziggy. Is it? I can't remember her name. I think it's Ziggy she sang with. She did the demo. Fantastic. So what different writing? Sometimes you see something and you write about it. Sometimes you get it spiritually in different forms. And I'm glad that I've had so much different things to do, to get it going,
Right. It's amazing because again, I feel like oftentimes, it's not just music, but just in life, oftentimes you see somebody, and especially if they're good at what they do. Talent is a thing that, sometimes we don't feel like people are blessed with multi-talent. Somebody's excellent at A and all right at B. So when somebody is a musician of your stature, sometimes we don't expect you to be a songwriter, especially tapping into that side that we're getting these love songs out. But it's amazing. It's amazing the type of things that we can get from a musician. Again, with the blessing of the Almighty, anything is possible.
Well, I give thanks, to be truthful, to God in everything, because for me to be born in England at 5 and to have, and I hear Bonnie Rogg say this, Bonnie Clark, and it's really true. When you love what you do, there's not one day of working. You're blessed because you're not working. And this is why if you work for everybody come on this planet to do something.
Right.
God has to have a message for you and a direction for you. But we make so much times money take us on. Oh, I can't afford this. I can't do this. And you lose that way. And then when you get older and you have the money, you don't have the energy to do it. So you pay other people and you give donations to your favorite club. But if you did what you came here to do, you wouldn't feel miserable, because nothing worse than working a job because you have to and say you're making money. Some people like that, but you don't come to what you're true. What is your purpose? When you find your purpose, that's it. And once you love what you do, there's not one day of work that you do. You can't wait to go on stage. You can't wait to create something. You can't wait. A musician is a blessed person. And there's musicians and there's musicians. The creators, the musicians that are creators, come here to do a special job.
Wow.
And that's why I'm saying this COVID that is happening is a time for those who never ever come forward. Because some people say, how them not make, how do we do this? Time is the master. And now is the time that our people in the world need music for healing, need music for upliftment, need music for consciousness. Our young people need songs to feel that there's hope, because this time is so serious. Listen, needs and wants is 2 different things.
Right.
Because you can't go out there, you realize that half of the things we're taking, we don't need.
True. True.
It is a want. We don't need. It is
Yeah.
I learned to appreciate. It also makes us say, what can we do to help people tomorrow? And I'm saying, if this thing leave tomorrow morning and it changes and COVID is over, what are you contributing to the young people?
Right. Right. Right.
What as musicians, what is your legacy? What are you going to leave for tomorrow? It can't be stardom. Everybody
Right.
remember you. It has to be. Look at the guy that died recently, who you know I'm
Chadwick.
talking Chadwick.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about him when I saw Poor Me. But I have
Right.
watched five of his movies, and the man was so unassuming.
Right.
He's so unassuming. He does go through and is amazing to what he has done. He act parts and he acts a true heart, sincere in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and I love hear you talk about the youth too, because at the end of the day, your legacy is not necessarily what you're doing in the moment. It's how it's captured by those people who, are left after you're gone. And I do notice that you're always enthusiastic about how we impact the youth. And that to me pretty much is something that I think a lot more people need to visualize. It's one thing to think it. People think things, but they don't act on it. They think things and they do not say it. So it's one of them things where I'm really, 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 really moved by the fact that you see the future as what it's supposed to be, which is the youth. And I do hope you continue to do it for as long as you can. Whenever you're a young man, so whenever you get older and somebody has to take up the mantelpiece. But thank you so much. Now we talk about music. We talk about you. You've drummed with the Reggae Ambassadors, Keyword Reggae. We're talking about Jamaica, we're talking about England, we're talking about the US, but we're talking about traveling the world doing reggae music and doing what you do right now. But you also wrote for R&B group, the Jones, the Jones Girls, right? Talk to me a little bit about the Jones Girls and that song that you created for them.
Well, this is a song about my daughters, because I have 5 daughters. You see how gray now? Well, I started to have gray patches at the age of 24. I started to have gray.
Daughters will do that to you.
I used to worry about my daughters, In fact, I joke, when a young man comes to visit my daughters, I said to him, I would say to them, I have 2 friends, Smith and Weston. I was joking. Anyway, I decided, as a young father, I said that what would I really want my daughters to think? And I wrote a thing called I Am a Woman. And when I did it, we did it down at Dynamics, and Carlene Davis did a reggae version, and we were supposed to do it, and we did it and had it ready, but somehow it couldn't go out at that time. So there was a friend of mine named Myrna Williams, who's a friend of Third World, and she was the manager of Jones Girls, and she heard the song. She says, the Jones Girls can do the song, it'd be good. And they did it on the album On Target, and it was done then, called I'm a Woman. And that's how that came about, Wow. It was the song, but I want to really do, because it was on the album, I'd love to do. So my whole thing now, where am I now? What COVID has taught me is that, all right, we're running a race. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Yeah. The good and the bad thing about COVID is that it makes you aware that tomorrow is promised to nobody.
Right.
We don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
So if we're put here to do some work, then it's time that you put it out. And there was things that I've done, so much stuff, but now all my recordings I want to put out now. Because even Jamaica, with Wisdom, I have a whole album. With there's other artists that I want to put out now. And as you know, there's an instrumental that's coming out soon. We'll talk about that. But I'm also, if God allows me, some of them same songs there, I want to do a Lovers Rock. Me playing that Lovers Rock. Nice Lovers Rock.
Wow.
Because there's songs that I have that has not released.
Right.
I want to use Willie Stewart and Friends, because they're such wide, great singers. Big up to all Willie Stewart and Friends band group. Big up.
Absolutely.
So I want to do that and have them singing it, and I put a Lovers Rock as my gift back. But a beautiful love rock that people can relate to it. So that's it. That is what I want to do now. Like COVID has made me decide, watch here, do the best you can, put it out, because if you put money underneath your bed and it's in a mattress, it could burn down and it's over. So let the people decide if they like it or not. You don't have to hit, but just put it out there. You don't know. It might go to the legacy of my children in the future.
Right, right. I love that concept. I love that concept. No, we're talking music. That's what we talk night and day. You're working on a project, right? Yes. Coming out soon. And I harassed you into letting me hear it pre-release, right? So I'm on the road. I'm on the road coming down. And again, we'll head it up. And I was able to listen to it on my way up, on my way down. Right. When you sent it over to me, it's like, okay, so it's the word we'd use is instrumental. That's what the average folk would say. It's an instrumental piece. But it's different. What I got from it was different from your most instrumental albums that come out in my eyes and my ears are almost background music, something to put in the background while you hold the conversation, the elevator music kind of a vibe. No disrespect to them. It's great music, even from some of the biggest artists in the world, the Kenny G's and them, you know what I mean? And most of the times when you hear instrumental piece, they're also led by piano or strings or stuff like that, or brass, be it the saxophone or whatever the case may be. Very rarely, if ever, do you listen to an instrumental, not just instrumental piece, but an instrumental album that's led by the percussive side of things, the drums, the percussions. There's a beat in it that is unrelenting. It just keeps going. And it gives me Afro beats. It gives me jazz. It gives me reggae. It gives me folk. And it's just constantly going. So it's a rhythm. It's like it's almost like there's a lead singer there, but the lead singer is the percussive instruments. Let's talk to the massive a little bit about that album, because I love it. When I say I love it, I love it. And I'm excited, not just for myself. I am showing off right now. Yes, I've heard it. You haven't yet. But talk to me a little bit about it, because I think the people are going to love it.
Well, I have to go back to after leaving Third World. England, go back. Ibu went to, during the time I was playing with Eddie Grant in that time, Ibu went to Rwanda to work with a radio station, and that was a beautiful experience for him there. God bless him soul, because Ibu has always been one of us that was true. His heart is, when he say Africa, is part of him. Right. When it comes to Mandela, when it comes to Marcus Garvey, Ibu was always there for that. And me too, because even when Mandela came to Jamaica, is me arrange for the show at the stadium for him.
Wow.
Yeah. That's another trip.
Right.
In the future. I have to leave that for the Sonic Desk. That's a trip by itself. Anyway. Yeah. So this is what happened. So, hey, tell me about, no, I lose my concentration. It's one of those.
Yeah, we're talking about that instrumental album. However,
right. You haven't seen me. I've been doing very well so far. Anyway, let me take my Geritol. All right. So that instrumental album is that. So Ibu came from Africa, and while I was finishing up with Eddie Grant, the show and thing, Ibu came up and to Barbados and Carrot and myself. And listen to this. Our last show was in Barbados.
Wow.
Now, I don't know how that came about. But we met for 1 week. The whole Barbados went crazy while I was there for about 10 days or so. We went to the beach, we talked, we just discussed ideas on how we're going to do certain things, and musically. It was like nearly similar to the retreat in Journey Talents, but a little different.
Right.
So they went back. I brought Eddie Grant to Jamaica. And while I was there, I worked on 2 songs, for instrumental wise. Took it back with me, went back to England, went to New York. And even in New York, something has happened where when I was in New York, I visited Carrot for about 4 or 5 days and stayed with Carrot. And Carrot, we went to the studio and did some jamming. And it so happened that Eddie went to New York too.
Right.
And we jammed in this New York studio. It was unbelievable. Some things came out of it. It was fantastic. Then I went to LA, to Los Angeles, with a good friend who was an investor. He believed in what we were doing, what I was doing and everything. And he said, boy, we back the project. So we went to LA to 56, Santa Monica, Studio 56, which is the most famous studio. And like with Third World did, we actually booked the studio for about 1 month. And Carrot, Ibu, myself, and a friend of mine who was from early days, Keith Jones, who was a master bass player.
Big up,
He,
Keith. Big up, Keith.
Keith came and joined us, and we started to work. Now we wanted to play. We prayed before, and we wanted to play music that could touch the soul. One that came from creation of us being together as harmony, as brothers, and play something different. We asked God to give us something different.
Right.
And everybody that was involved in it was phenomenal. And we spent 3 weeks working on tracks. I had to go back. I went to Atlanta, and then we came back again, and Leroy came and joined us, and another bassman, and we did some more tracks.
Right. Big up Leroy too.
And I went to Miami, and we finished up more tracks. And then I ended up living in Florida because I was going to Jamaica back to live. And I ended up back living in Florida. And so, just like Chris Iry's song, you know, the Chris Iry's song, Return to Love. Right. The same way that this now is like wine, it has to cure, it has to take time. And now there's not been a greater time to release that album than now. So hopefully within 6 weeks, 7 weeks, the album is ready. It's there, you know.
How many tracks? How many tracks are on it?
It could have anything between, I would say between 11 to 13 tracks.
Now, as I was listening to the album, the pre-release, I'm showing off here. As I was listening to the album, and coming down, I'm a huge Third World fan. Love the classic albums all the way up, right? This album is a lot of, well, it's all for the most part, stuff that the masses have not heard yet. Now, there are certain Third World songs that are just etched in my heart. One of which I need to ask you about because it's the only one really, truly represented on here too. And I'm talking about Lagos Jump. So talk to me about your connection with that song, Lagos Jump.
Thank you for that, Mr. Cole. Thank you for that question. All right. When we came back from Lagos, remember, we went Lagos in 70, could be 79, I could be wrong. Well, we went to Lagos to play for a big festival there. We ended up spending 3 months in Lagos. I'll never forget when we go to the hotel door. You're welcome back to Nigeria. It's the only place in Nigeria. You see the train track, and the train is coming and blowing the people in. I said, but we're in Jamaica, man. At Jamaica, we're there.
Right.
So the whole of Nigeria, it was a beautiful experience. So as we came back, and we went to Mountain Music, George Golden and a guy called Dennis Slush, God bless him. Dennis had this piano track. So we're fresh from Africa now, we've been more than a week back.
Right.
So it was Dennis, me, I think that was there, Richie arranged the session. And we're jamming in the studio. And I think Carrot must have did it after. And we started jamming. And when I hear the track, I said, whoa. I said, we can't give this man, we can't give that track.
Right,
we have to take it for Third World. We have to buy back the track. We will pay. I said, we can't do that. I said, we can't give this track here. We can't. This track is, because it sold so unique. I said, no, man, we can't give this track away. So we made a deal with Dennis that he understood. And then when we went to LA to record. Now, I think it was after the album All the Way Strong, which is after You've Got the Power, Stevie Wonder with us there. Right. We were in Kendon Studios. And while we're there, Bonnie, Stephen Stewart, Ibu came up with the thing called Efusa said the Oba to me. The Oba represent like a mayor.
Right.
And we said, Efusa said the Oba to me, Rasta Messenger. You're welcome. And how we talk about Funka say, that means how them say. It's like we made up a story, like the Oba daughter get to like the Rasta man, and it was great. So we hear back that in Nigeria, the Oba asks to the daughter, you know these boys? Do you know them for true? Listen. The song went #1 in Nigeria for months.
Wow.
They built a road called Lagos Jump. It's the biggest African song. And what happened is that I listening recently I heard Lagos, some artists, top artists, cover it back, and they put
Wow.
different pieces in it, and they cover it over. But it's a huge song in Africa, huge.
Wow.
Yeah,
Lagos
man.
Jump. I
Lagos
love that
Jump.
song. I love that song. And I've heard it performed. That I always figure there's a special connection because even on Rhythms of Africa, it's one of the songs that's always represented. Lagos
Right.
Jump is representing Rhythms of Africa. Again, one of my favorite songs. And of course, once I heard it on here, I'm like, there's gotta be a special connection with Lagos Jump.
Well, let me tell you something. Lagos Jumping to me is a special song because we talk about Africa and we talk
Mm-hmm.
about, and I mean, where did third world come from? In a sense of that, in apartheid, every
Mm-hmm.
night. Oh, by the way, when you know that with apartheid, the situation was that they had a ban on Africa, on South Africa,
Right.
because they wanted musicians to go to South Africa to play at Sun City, which was like the gambling casinos and all that, to say that
Mm-hmm.
they're helping and they're not wicked and thing. And they keep on asking third world to go there. And we had a meeting with one of the guys in LA and said, listen, why you keep on asking us who we're against all that?
Right.
We want our people to free. We'll give you $500,000 to go there. So we said to them, you know, keep that. With that $500,000, we'll go there when our people is free and play for our people, when they're
Right.
free from
Right.
apartheid. And what happened now? Listen to this joke. I end up going to South Africa on the day it was free. You believe that?
Wow. Wow.
I,
Wow.
I left the night and went to and arrived in South Africa on the day. So the night I traveled, it wasn't free. And when I landed, so I could see how South Africa really stayed. That
Right.
means if you went after, people could clear certain things, but they couldn't
Right.
clear it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me,
Mm-hmm.
it's a beautiful country, but the people, them, you could know they was under pressure.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When I see the soldiers coming up, you know, when you see water, you know, when
Yeah.
you're traveling on the road like Montego Bay, and you see the fire like the water on the road.
Right.
When you look there and you see them coming, you see fire. May I tell you? And I went to Alexandra. I went
Right.
to all of the places. We went to Johannesburg,
Right.
Soweto, and when you go there, you could feel while the people are celebrating, you know. But remember,
Right.
you could feel that anytime that celebration could be, someone could die. I
Right.
can't explain to you. Even though they're
Right.
celebrating, you could feel the oppression. So much that I saw so much people that were like they tend to be small. Well, to what I saw, that
Mm-hmm.
the pressure was so bad that they put the people themselves. You know,
Wow.
but
Wow.
that was an experience. I'm telling you.
Wow. South Africa. Post
South Africa.
apartheid.
So if every night Bonnie would sing the freedom of song. In fact, we have a song that was done called Apartheid No, which was done for a friend in Jamaica that we
Right.
did for that occasion. And we got the medal from the UN
Mm-hmm.
for our crisis in South Africa. We
Wow.
got the UN Peace Medal for that. All of us got it.
I love that. Well, you know what? You put the work in, the rewards are always there. And being honored by your people, especially the people that you put so much work in for, is always a reward in itself. What I wonder about though is this. You are not just, and I keep saying it, I'm gonna continue to say it until it gets annoying. You're not Mr. Willie Stewart anymore. You're Mr. Willie Stewart OD, right? You've traveled the world. You've blessed the world with your music, with your drums. I'm talking about a time where Third World, the name Third World, the sound Third World, the brand Third World was one of the most recognizable in the world. I say this to people all the time. My father is a pop music, jazz music, R&B music connoisseur, loves that stuff. The only, at that time, reggae recordings I ever saw him with was Third World albums, right? So you're touching folks who aren't normally even dialed in to reggae music. However, you are being honored and awarded as with the honor of distinction post Third World, right? Not just for, and to be perfectly honest with you, who's to say it is even for the work as a musician in Third World, but one could say it's for the work that you've been doing after Third World. What's that feeling to be honored by your nation, not just for what you were doing when you're on the stage and on the mountaintops, but for doing what you really are here to do, which is take care of these youth, these young people, and minister music to the masses?
Well, let me tell you something. Nothing is more beautiful than that. Um, Greg, it's like when you fulfill your mission,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if I never left third world, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get through to the thousands of kids that God
Wow.
has allowed me to influence
Mm-hmm.
based on music and even the writing. When you see them write, because they have to do evaluations, and when you
Mm-hmm.
see some of our kids who I don't say this is disadvantage because I really don't know, because I believe that no child should be judged
Mm-hmm.
based on their zip code. Every child should have a chance to be to live their dream.
Right.
And I have had the opportunity to go into schools to see it for myself and
Right.
empower some of our children. When I started up here, in Miami, I mean here, Miami and Broward, I would ask some kids who is Caribbean, Haitian kids, Black American kids, and say, "Do you know any connection to Africa?" This was like maybe 2001, 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Africa? Oh, Africa is in Washington. I said, yes. Okay. Are you related anywhere to? Oh, no, no, no. We're not related. We have no relations with. So I
Wow.
realized there was work to be done.
Right. Right.
So my work to be done started earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I would give the teacher something. I said, listen, this is incentive, hold this, and make they go on that time internet just came through, coming in. Let them do research and you give a prize to each one. And that is how you start building and they say, oh, and they start getting to know where their origins or who their ancestors are,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. So it started with that. So to be blessed, to be honored, I can only say that I'm humbled and I give thanks that, it's like even you was there when Pembroke Pines
Right.
made my
Right.
day. That shocked me, and
Right.
I explained, and I'll explain to your wonderful audience here that when Pembroke Pines made it the 29th of February, Willie Stewart Day,
Mm-hmm.
and when they called me up and I see that the water was given me, while I was walking up with the mayor giving me, I said to myself three things. Am I going to leave this planet? Because am I seeing? You understand? Am I
Right.
going?
Right.
I have to be. We have to be factual. Am I leaving this planet? Is it
Right.
this? Is this the end up? Maybe I'm just seeing a little bit of my future, and is that it?
Right.
Or is Rhythms of Africa going toward the world?
Right.
Or what is happening? Is something change going to happen? And if you recall, we had 3,300 people 2,600 at the show, and nearly
Right.
600 people turned back. And it
Right.
was for a long time, it was the most loved experience at Rhythms Africa show. It was
Right.
an experience that it was like almost church in its own way.
Yep.
God took it over. The
Right.
musicians, Richie Stevens, Itana,
Right.
Pluto, um,
Wayne.
Wayne coming in the
Yeah.
Jamaican section. It was
Yeah.
like a full. After all the work that I did in Florida, it's
Mm-hmm.
like it came to me. It was the most honorable time. It's like we reach and say, "You have not proven that Jamaicans can put on a show.
Right.
Jamaicans to pull a show in an area, in a place of the highest level, and
Right.
bring families of all together. Not
Right.
about me. It was about doing our culture and saying
Mm-hmm.
we're worth it. That even the people at the venue were shocked. They couldn't believe that this audience and the way it was. It was fantastic.
Right.
And I give God thanks then. So that was something. And then now being honored with this, I can say that I'm just humbled and I have to say thank you to Jamaica, to the people of Jamaica, to Babs the Grange, the culture minister, to the people and to everybody, to my family and to all people who made Rhythms of Africa, made it happen in my Embrace Music Foundation and Talk It Over Now, who helped me. All those people. It's not me. The OD is really for all of us. And also, I have a new OD. I have
Mhm.
another assignment. I'm named Order of Distance now.
It's a
I,
maintain
I,
your distance, please.
I'm the policeman for this time. And I'm begging Jamaica, please put on your mask.
Yeah.
Please. This is serious. Put on your mask, please. Wash your hands. If you don't have to go somewhere, don't go. Evaluate just listen. If there was, Mr. Greg, if there was tomorrow morning, this
Hmm.
is war.
Hmm.
If there was soldiers shooting, would we put our kids on the front line? Would we
Right.
put our kids on the front line to go and take shots? Would we
No.
do that?
No.
Well, you send them to school, it's doing it regardless of it's hard. Yes, food is needed because the school, I know the school system and the
Right.
children definitely need to eat. But there's arrangements can be made with that.
Can definitely be made.
Look at the universities going back, how much people getting it. We cannot, we're
Notre
not
Dame.
idiots. How the people can stay together and the children. When you have little kids, 3-year-old, the humans want to hug. Then they see everybody for a long time. You think them going to remember that them
Yeah.
have to go wash their hands? And the
Yeah.
mask, they can't wear the mask all day. It's impossible. We should not politicize this situation. This is life and death.
Literally.
We would not send our children. If there was gun shooting, we wouldn't put our old people and our children on the front line.
Right.
And look here, and with it happening like this, we have to wait it out. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But in all of this, God is, and is one, if it's a lesson, but we're going to come out winning.
Right.
But please, look at the, don't regret it. People who said, oh, it's no big thing. See when I'm on the deathbed?
Different
Boy,
something.
they shouted out, but it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too late. We have to take this thing serious, and we have to realize the whole world has changed. This racism that happened has been here for a long time. It's been on the world for a long time. It's
Yep.
only that you've seen it now, and cameras put it up. We have to realize that all of us matter. We're
Yeah.
here as you. If someone cut you, you have blood. If someone cut your stone is not coming out there.
Right.
If you're, no matter what color, if we're there and we'll have love, everybody's going to try and save your child. We're a human being first.
Right. Right.
We're
right.
human. And if we have love, then you wouldn't have all of the different segregation and problems that happen. And as I said, I've seen it in South Africa. Realize when in South Africa, children wanted to learn their own language, Greg. They wanted to learn and the massacre, them kill the children, just a way to killing. I cry.
Right. Right.
What world
Right.
is that? What were you killing your children? What world? And how long can it be so? But you know, love, if you take it with revenge, it's going to be trouble because you're going to bring hate. When you forgive somebody, you're doing yourself a favor. Because if you leave it, it festers cancer inside you. We have to, the only way we're going to conquer this is with love. Yes, we have to go out there and protest to see it, but we have to do it with love.
Yeah.
We have to do it with love because if you do it enough, believe me, there is a God. And the energy of God will come and help us. But we have to first acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge our old people. We have to acknowledge our young people. Musicians have to take now that road now to really change the consciousness of what we're thinking, to write the songs, listen to our inner mind, what God is talking to us, so that we can leave a legacy for the children so they can have hope.
I love that. I don't even know what to say after that. I'll say this. I'll say this. Musically, professionally, you've been to the mountaintop. Right now, you've been awarded the highest, one of the highest honors in the land, and I honestly don't feel like you've reached your zenith yet. You know what I mean? So, so I'm just sitting here and I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm waiting for more greatness because that's what's exuded by Mr. Willie Stewart OD. I'm gonna keep putting the OD. Are you going tired of hearing me say it? The OD. But I want to thank you so much. The impact that we talk about Kwame, we talk about all these musicians that are around the area that not only are playing excellent music, but under your tutelage and mentorship, whether you intended to do so or not, I see the impact in them because of the way how they now impact the younger musicians. You know, Vinny. And
Vinny
I mean,
is excellent music. Big up to Vinny. Excellent music.
Trust me, and just everybody. So it's a domino effect, and you know, it's great to see them carrying on what I deem the legacy of Mr. Willie Stewart, which is pretty much being an ambassador themselves. So with that, I say thank you on behalf of myself, the listeners, the viewers, whomever, the musicians, the upcoming musicians, the youth, the elders who look down with adoration when they see how you embrace the youth. Just thanks.
Well, I want to thank you and your listeners, and I want to say that we mustn't. It's hard as an elder. It's very hard to understand our young teenagers, because in the days of my time, the older elders would grab you and say, "Listen," and talk to you. Please don't stop talking to your children, no matter what. Even though they're on the phone, they're busy, occupied. Don't stop talking to them because a little drop, they will listen. Trust me. There's a lot of distraction and noise out there, but never stop. Never give up on your children because believe me, they're going to come true. We have to give more to them. But let me ask you, Mr. Greg, before we go, do we have to go right now, sir? Your time is up.
No, man, our world, our world.
All right, listen, mama. You're playing this song for the people, then?
Well, which song?
Did you, after the new album, you're playing it yet?
Well, I opened with Zambello, and I was going to close with Lagos Jump.
All right.
So
hold on. Before you go, let me just ask something. I'd like to big up my son, Monia Stewart, who is a producer, a big producer. I mean, he did the Pitbull song with Slowly.
Right.
I think he got part of it, but he has changed it to another level. I big him up, and I wish God would bless him to continue because I know he has a lot in him, and he will be able to. And all third world kids, Shia, all of them, Damien, all of them who Richard Daly's son, Ion, and all of them, blessings for them because we went on a great journey, and we're still on a journey. And nobody, you can't undo that.
You cannot.
Because what it speaks to you every day. Because when you do music, like Bob is gone, but does the music speak to everybody? When something is done with sincerity and love, it can't be undone. And you can't change the course of history. So I give thanks for that part of Third World. Because to me, it taught me a lot. And I moved through from there. I give thanks. And I give thanks for just God give me a chance to be able to express and be a part of music. As I say, we don't know what tomorrow will bring. My hopes and dreams is that with Rhythms of Africa, I can bring this to Jamaica, and that I can be able to work with my youths, and that is it was my basket dream that I can pass on to be a music facilitator. Because the difference being a music facilitator, when you're musicians, people come from all over the world to listen to you as a music. You do your music, everybody come to listen to you. They want to hear you for what you do. When you're a music facilitator, you have to bring the best out of somebody that they never expect. You facilitate something that they never knew. So you bring out the best in them and doing something with him. And it's so whatever. You bring the joy, you bring laughter. As a facilitator, there's two different things. And I've seen people that when they play, because when you're a musician and play, there's a happiness that you get. There's nothing like it. When you're playing to 80,000 people in a stadium, a giant stadium, and you see the people move. It's electricity. That's God. When you're moving and people crying, that's God. When the people laughing, music. Take a word without music. You want to leave it. Music give you emotion that can touch your soul, that can heal. It can heal. Why they play it in church? The musicians never get the credit most of the time. But musicians and creators, they're the angels of this earth. They're the ones that come. And they're the pastors of this earth. Because that's what's important. So I was talking to a lady the other day on the phone. I don't know. I said, are you a singer? She said, yeah. But she gave it up because she's 23, because, boy, the business is hard to do. I said, but suppose God wants you to sing. Suppose you can sing and change a whole generation. Who are you to say no? Who are you to say no? We now take music lightly in a sense that is. I don't it. But if there's no music, when people get to go and dance, you see what can stop crime in Jamaica? You see when a man decide, listen, I might go do this with a man, or I might go maybe to Pow down there and do this, and him drink one little liquor, and him hear 2 tunes, him done gone. He forget. That's why Jamaica should never stop. Jamaica should never stop the jukebox music, because that's the people's joy. That's when them go and hear the music. Them transcend it to something else. So them forget any badness. Them say, boy, well, maybe we'll do it next week. And them gone. Music can stop. Listen, James Brown, when they got the riot in New York, went on TV to play to stop New York being burned down.
Wow. The power of music.
The power of music cannot be put. It is big and it's important. I am talking to the musicians of the world. Now is the time for musicians to come together. Don't think about what is in it for me, or I want to be a star. That's not going to happen no more. You have to be humble and sincere, and you have to go out there, and you have to give the youth them. And by your example,
Yeah.
I am happy to see some of the young ladies out in
Oh
Jamaica.
yeah. Oh
Coffee
yeah.
and Leela
Leela,
Peak and Tommy Corn
Naomi
daughter,
too. Yeah.
Naomi Campbell, and all
Yeah.
of them. They're doing great work. But
It's phenomenal right now
we
for the
need more.
ladies.
And Protege, Chronics, a big up
Yeah.
to all of them.
A
Barris,
lot of them.
all of them. But we also need to look at our younger musicians. Please.
Yeah.
No, we need to get. We talk about reggae music not hitting. Why? Where are the songs?
Two hits.
We need back and we need
Yeah.
back songs.
Yeah.
Hawaii take up songs and playing what we played years ago.
Yeah.
Jamaica music. We need back the songs. If we go back with a song, once you have a song, the world is open to it. We need younger songwriters in Jamaica. And I must say, Edna Manley is doing a fantastic
Large
job.
up.
Some of the
Big up.
great large up. Big up to Ibu,
Yep.
Edna Manley, and all the
Yep.
people. Derek Stewart is doing a fantastic job with the kids. They're teaching all the Devon and all the different. They're teaching back. So what I would love, as I said, my bucketing is with the percussion. Because Jamaica so talented is to give back the youth and bring in instruments, get them and do rhythms of Africa. Do a show in Jamaica with Jamaica musicians, Cuban, Haiti, Africa, and do a show that they will talk about it forever.
Wow.
That is my dream to the people of Jamaica. So I'm hoping that the ears that listen will listen and allow me to do that because we have it. The vehicle is there. So, and I want to do that. I want to give back the kids how some of them can come off the street and be able to facilitate workshop, be able to play drums and go play in the hotels when time come back for that, to be able to play and make a living, to be able to make drums, Africa drum, and also keep them because idle hands, what I've learned is that your idle is trouble. Trouble
Never
in
find
the
work for idle hands.
and I think that we have to engage our youth seriously. We have to, we cannot forget them and give a chance. And if we start teaching them for a young age, like 6, 7, and they come up as geniuses, we'll have teachers doing orchestra, doing everything from an early age that will change and be a lucrative business. Because remember, Jamaica is a heartbeat of the world. We can't take that lightly.
No, you know, it's again, I love the words, and I'm so glad you're able to speak because there's so many people tuning in from near and far, and those are words I think that they definitely need to hear. Something way left, right? Ask this to Kid, ask it to Richie, and I'm gonna ask it to you. We always talk about the music, the sound, the sonics, right? The musicianship, the vocals. We talk about that because it's impeccable. From Bunny Ruggs to you guys as musicians and what you've been able to put out. Again, big up the engineers, everybody. We'll talk about something a little different. The album covers, the artwork. All right. That's been synonymous with Third World over the years versus, just a picture of 6 guys out there with them chests out, Where did the idea, how did you guys come up with the fact that, the lady, the donkey, just the journey to Addis cover, 96 degrees, where did that come from?
Well, remember the first album, first album, I wasn't really in the first album, but how I heard it, because remember I'm hearing it like anybody else. And how I heard it is that there was a guy, I don't know if it was an artist they hired to actually write to this drawing and everything, and it became our theme. Because I think probably what the person did is listen to the music, and them listening, they got this whole feeling, and I think from there the music transcended for them to make the stick people. And it was great. And we had it up to 5 albums.
Right.
And 96, Go Right Down, Journey to Addis, Stories Been Told, A Rise in Harmony, all those 5 albums, we think had that theme. But then now you get a new company, CBS. Then they say, okay, we know where we want to show. Let's put the guys' faces on it.
This is the committed album.
No, man. No. This is, we're talking about, the first album was Rock the World.
That had you guys on the cover.
Yeah, the Rock the World was the world and us on the world. Rock the World. That's if I go back to my story, the story will tell you that's the time we were getting ready to support that record.
Right.
World, dancing on the floor. People just made that song. Dancing for the Soul was a big song in Europe. And we didn't go on tour. We didn't tour for it because we decided to go do with the Stevie Wonder studio. So Rock the World was that.
Okay. So that's when you guys went full R&B sex symbols on them with the guys on the cover From the down.
That is where we come. We moved from there, and then it followed suit that in LA when we did You've Got the Power.
Right.
We had to go to we in Los Angeles.
I remember that.
What can I say to you? So we all had to go to a special place, shop. We had different people come and do this and do that. And so the guys were out in a new outfit. And I'll never forget, we had to we had to do a big show in LA. But because we had our song and CBS was there, we got to headline that show. I think it was at the big theater. I never forget that. And when we come up, man, we did a show for that. It was unbelievable. But then the covers and everything was designed. And then it followed suit for those 5 albums.
Right.
And then you see now the sense of purpose had a little difference.
Right.
Hold On to Love. Hold On to Love had us up. In Hold On to Love, which was the last album of the CBS, you had us at Zinc Fence, sitting on our place, and we took a picture there. And someone gave a joke and we're laughing. You can see everybody was in laughing. It was amazing. And then now the Polygram album was serious business.
Right.
And then Committed. And then there was another when our last album, Ebo and myself, last album was Live It Up. We decided that we were tired of record companies and things, and we wanted to do something for ourselves. And the single from Live It Up was Conversation. Benji Myers wrote that song for us. Benji Myers did it. Yeah, and there's a video. I don't know where the video is. I'd love to see it because it was done in Ultra. That video, and then the Maestro, and then the song called Live It Up. That's another album that I said the name and it come up, Live It Up. And me and Bonnie wrote the Live It Up song. Is Bonnie and myself wrote that song.
Wow.
And then Committed, as you know, Committed is another song that became the album name for the whole album there. And Committed is a song that I really came up and wrote along with Stephen Stewart and Ibu at that time.
Love that song.
Committed, I must thank the people of the world for loving that song there, because believe me, everybody love it. People say they use it for their wedding. I thought that was a great thing, you know. I thought it was great.
It's one of the best feel good love songs. I don't even know where to put it categorically. It's like, is it a feel good song? Is it a love song? Is it a reggae song? Is it R&B?
Hold on. Let me story time, sir. Story.
Yeah.
So now listen, we went on a kind of retreat because we went to Ocho, right where you live. I don't know why. Oh, you know, come and have tea with us a little bit. Next time, I can't starfish. Because all the time I'm by White River, by by we call it the reggae station there. What do you call it?
Irie FM.
Irie FM. So we record Irish studio because it's great. When you go there, coconut water. So I am running. And then the jukeboxes you're hearing in the morning. And I'm hearing, I just want to be close to you. And I'm running. I said, whoa. What a ratchet song, man. What a nice song. You know, I mean, and every morning I hear it. So one morning I wrote and I said, but listen, when you say you want to be close to you, when you're telling a woman, it's a great song, but close to you, but there must be more, man. And I'm thinking, I said, what would my wife want to hear? And I said, boy, I'm committed. That's what I mean. I'm committed. And I said, but committed to what? Keeping this love alive.
Wow.
Yes, I am committed. If I go into a relationship, I must be committed. And I'm running. And the whole words come in my head. When I tell you the songs come a different way, all the words start come.
Wow.
And then I run straight to the studio. And I said, Stephen, come here and Stephen Stewart with the right stuff. I said, Stephen, listen to this, let's go. And we start to write song, but we never finish it. When Kat and Bonnie heard it, bam!
Wow.
They start to say, come, let's start recording it. And through. But I could never find a third verse. And when we were near to go to New York to finish it up, Ibu came up with the right third verse.
Right.
And it does sing. Because we couldn't find it. There's certain songs you write, and it's like not matching. It's like you can't. And that song that came like that. And believe me, I love how it came out. It was really, and even the video that you see us do at Hagley Park.
Love it.
That's real with the people that was, listen, I'm going to tell you, with all of, big up to Bonnie Clark and Cara Tuagan. I really feel it in my heart because I can't call them to do anything now.
Right.
Whatever's done, and it's more valuable now than everything else because all that they did with the pictures that we show and, Third World's 47th anniversary, we'll have to look back at the past. Yeah. We'll have to look and say, boy, No matter what the difference is,
Mm-hmm.
the man them put in the work.
Yeah.
Carrot, I can't forget that. I can't forget Bunny.
Yeah.
How them thing and now today, a picture is worth so much. It's worth so much because you can't bring it back. And I want to say that is why this record that I tell you that I did,
Mm-hmm.
Carrot came and played with you on the show.
Yep.
Remember? That's the last
Yep.
show I played with Carrot. The show that you played Rhythms of Africa. That one,
Right.
and we played at Miramar Culture Center. And with
Yeah.
him there, I was so proud. Him and Ibu there. It was like brothers there. I mean, I can't
Wow.
explain the feeling. I'm being
Prilly.
part with the
Even Prilly
kids.
was there too.
Prilly
Yeah.
was there. And
Yeah.
thing, I mean, we have to give thanks for that. The history. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm an older man now, and as a kid, the joy of playing. And you see, when I look back on my history,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people might not know, but because how much hours I put as being a musician, as a Jamaican musician, is a
Right.
lot of hours.
Right.
Visions,
Right.
visions, um,
Inner
Inner
circle.
Circle,
Yeah.
Barry Little Dragonaires, Happiness Unlimited. You don't know that, but I was in Happiness
Wow.
and I managed them. And then turn
Wow.
around, come up here after leaving Third World. When I was up here, I played with Pluto for a stint. We opened the place
Wow.
that you go. Ginger Bay
Ginger
is
man.
me, Azadi. Yes, played there for a year. Mash up it. And even Eugene Gray. I was playing drums with Eugene Gray till I
Big
found
up,
my own.
Eugene.
Till I found my. But so big up to all of that. I love music. To me, I love playing. I just love it. And I had a chance to teach so much kids during my time. I can't even talk half of the things that because to me it's like I live two lives in one.
Wow.
It's like I've lived two lives and God has helped me to that. And I can't say take praise. It's just like it just happens.
Yeah.
So to me, I am saying with all of what take place, I give thanks for the blessing that was bestowed on Third World. We
Mm-hmm.
were real ambassadors, and they're still ambassadors. And what with the work that we did is unbelievable. The love that people have. I mean, as you know, explantations,
Mm-hmm.
transmigrations. We were able to do a show, 50 shows in Jamaica,
Right.
and everyone was full with 1,000 people at
Wow.
Ronnie Williams. And they
Wow.
come because remember, them time you have that technology. You had to make lights with light pan. We had a guy called Vish. And
Mm-hmm.
when he put on lights, we put this big frame up on the thing. And with the lights, him get a paint pan and put 100 watt bulb in there. And we put about 200 lights up there. That's our
Wow.
light system. And the sound. Well, we had audio fun to do the sound, so that was good. And we
Right.
set up and we were able to. So when we came up backstage, everybody's looking up front, to see the show. All of them here is peanuts, peanuts, star cleaner. Man, war run out the chair. Feel like man, a bad man. I'm gonna take over the bed. Whatever look. Not us, just something like the creative, the creativeness that was within everybody was.
Right.
And when you went out and played a show, and you played, I can't explain to you. It was, and that is why I wanted to give back the youth them a
Mm-hmm.
chance. Because when you play music like that, it
Mm-hmm.
puts you on a high, next to none.
Yeah.
You know that code, next to
Yep.
none.
Yep. Yep.
When you do that, and the thing,
Undeniable.
and you don't have to be a musician to do it. If you play drums, you get that feeling when you play. And if you can't play by just beating it, it relieves stress. And when you get into rhythm and everybody plays as one, it does something to you. Neuroscientists are now saying that if you have a headache, play some drums. They are
Wow.
doing it now, realizing that it can cure diseases. It can help the right and the left brain. It
Right.
can help your concentration. It gives you flora. All of these things is important. So even you have home and you're stressed, beat some on the table, beat something. It can relieve stress. I do team building stress relief workshops.
Wow.
And even by playing, it gives you a chance to connect with something greater than yourself.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I wish I'll tell you this. We need to take Mr. Willie. We need to take it to King Cause and make a copy because we need more like you.
No, man, no, no. You need to get next time, Mr.
Mhm.
Ibu Cooper.
Oh,
Ibu must tell.
that's
Ibu
the
has
goal.
to come and tell his story. You've
That's
heard
the
from
goal.
Kat, you've heard from Richie. You
Yep.
can't hear from Bonnie, maybe at Bonnie Carrot, but the man that I'm going to see that in come on top because Ibu have another side of the story because Ibu was there from start.
Right.
Ibu was there in fact, Ibu and me was in a circle. So me and Ibu relationship will go further than anybody else
Right. Right.
sometime. And Ibu has really a lot that he can talk about, which is from a different angle. You see, I believe that you must hear everybody angle because everybody have a different viewpoint. We're all in the same room, but everybody look at it differently.
Right.
So it comes from everybody. So if I ever write a book on third world, it's gonna be my view. A man
Right.
might contradict me, but that's how it see. If someone tell a story and you hear the story, by the time it reach to you hear what happened because nobody wants to tell a boring story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True, true, true.
You know. So I think that it would be a great, great, great thing, and I think that you would have completed the third world cycle because when Ibu and myself left, a lot of people didn't know why and
Right.
what you know. It was really great, you know. So that is
We're
that
gonna
is
make it
what I'm
happen.
saying.
We're gonna make it happen. The thing is, my plan, like I prefer having the conversations in the studio live. So I was waiting on Ibu. I didn't want to do a phone one, but with everything COVID the way it is right about now, I think it probably will expedite the process and we'll just get it done on video. Now, because Ibu to me is Yoda, you know. So it
Yes,
says,
yes. We used to call him the mad scientist. Ibu.
yeah,
Well, if you listen to him talk, I think, but the man have. Let me tell you something. When Ibu go around them keyboards,
yeah,
pardon. Listen, when we did Journey to Addis, the great song there, is Ibu go write the part and go to Miami, fly to Miami while we in Nassau, and have them play it, write it and play it and come back, you know.
right,
So Ibu could hear Third World, the sound
yeah.
before it even played. He could know how to when a man play a keyboard, it's amazing. When he play a horn, it's like the real horn. That thing, there's that Eastern Caribbean African sound. That is phenomenal.
It's
Phenomenal.
listen. I'm not blown away a lot, but I'll tell you this: the time when we were getting ready to do the tribute for Gina, right?
Yes.
And we were down there in your studio, and I love Third World. Still go out and support the band. Still go out and listen to the music and so forth. But Ibu and I guess he hadn't played it in ages too. When he went around the keyboards and touched the keys, and I heard the exact phrase that took me right back to to the CD, to the record, because now everybody does a great job, but it's not, the phrasing's a little different. You know what I mean? But that's when I heard the exact phrase, the exact replica from what the albums were.
Ibu is like this is what I said to people. When you create something, you don't have to think about playing it back.
Right.
You don't have to think about playback. Him could go in seconds and get it back because it's within your DNA. You created it.
Right.
You can't teach a man that played. You can't go to Bob Marley. And I'll say this. Listen to this. And I've said it without reservation. Listen to this. Bob Marley in the movie Marley. You see the movie in Marley? When they shot Bob Marley. And we had to play. This is 60,000 people. You know, it's Third World had to play that show. I don't know if you know. 60,000 people and they shot him the Friday. So everybody kind of afraid to go up there.
Right.
But I have to give kudos to Third World because believe me, at least me have some drums around me, so they might shoot the cymbal before they kill me. But believe me, there was police. Listen, man, there was police on the high-rising building around Heroes Park. 60,000 people there, and we played Tommy Cower go on and Manley and everybody and talk, and we start to play. And I think it's Cat, but Cat was close to Bob, and I think on the radio. Cat must have said, "Boy, come down, Bob, because real the people love you. Nothing go wrong." And they came down. I had to play Bob Marley's songs, 6 of them, right? On drums. Third World back him. But listen, when we back him, right? Remember, I don't know the song there, but we only listen from listening. So I'm playing, and I did my best. Him do, but he was the best show I've ever seen him do because it's like everything came deja vu. Everything he's played in his music came there. It's like the man played it's like him heart, him give him soul.
Wow.
And then now the band start coming in, and I'm glad to give the drums to Carly. You see, when you hear Carly play it, I said, "Boy, see the master there. Because me can't play like that. Me can't."
We got the Barrett brothers. We got the Barrett brothers.
With due respect, Carly's family man, son, Aston, can play nearly exactly like him. He's with Whalers now. Unbelievable. Family, but his family. He played excellently.
An unbelievable producer too.
And when you hear Marley and I hear myself play, I say, "Hey, it's not like Bob." But when you hear the difference. So what I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. When you create something, You don't have to think.
Right, right.
You don't have to think. It comes naturally.
Hmm.
So, you know, and this is no disrespect to the farmers or anything. I'm just saying that things when you create is part of your DNA.
Right.
No, this is big respect. Now I'm going to tell you, Ruption, big up to Ruption,
Big up. Big
great
up.
drummer. And
Big up.
I'm going to tell you to the drummer of Third World now, Ruption.
Hmm.
Years ago, we are playing a Boney M show.
Hmm.
We're playing Boney M by Hilton. All by you. Where were you then? It's by
I
you,
don't know.
Hilton. Hilton St. Anne's Way there, Hilton.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
we're playing outside. And we're playing this gig with Boney M. They're filming it for Europe.
Hmm.
And now all of a sudden, I hear some jazz and some different things I play. And I think I might have said it to Richard or something. I say, that drummer there is world class. That
Hmm.
drummer there can play anything in big. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was Ruption played. It was
Wow.
Ruption
Wow.
played, you know. So
Big up,
Ruption,
Rupture.
the Ruption really, you know, they're going places and involved the thing. And big respect to Ruption. And
One
big
of
respect to my drummer within a circle. Love him, lads.
the
Lancelot.
man.
Big up to Inner Circle. Big up to them, man, there, sir. You know, I must, you know, as I said, listen, we're in problems here now because a lot of people can't take the lockdown. It's
Hmm.
like, I know when you get a break, you forget. But
Hmm.
we have to realize that sometimes when you're in, all right, let me give you an example. Look at Bushu.
Hmm.
Bushu go away for 10 years.
Hmm.
But don't Bushu come out with a degree?
Mm.
Bushu come out with a thing? Bushu come out and come back and look what him gone through. Sometimes you get time, and
Yeah.
this might be just some time to reset,
Yeah.
to restore yourself. As I keep on telling you, if tomorrow morning COVID is gone, what are you going to do for
Right.
the youth? What are you going to do to change what you have done to make this world better? What is your contribution? Don't you think God going to look at you and say, should I really, are these people worth saving? We have
Right.
to look at ourselves truthfully. Are we have reached to
True.
decadence
So
right
true.
now. We have reached to decadence,
So
right?
true.
We have children and we don't know tomorrow morning what's going to my grandchildren. Anything goes?
Yeah.
Can't.
You
So
know, it's
we have
funny
to
you said
come
that,
up.
Mr. Willie. It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that. I've had this conversation with people over and over, right? Um, many of the world's richest people right now, most successful people, were formed right after crazy times, perilous times, pandemics, other times like those, financial degradation internationally, and they rose up after that. I tell people that I think that Bob Marley was formed by the times he was in, right? Because the reason, and people say, is there going to be another Bob Marley? Well, we don't have another time like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like right now we're going through some perilous times in terms of race relations, in terms of just equality and justice, not just in the US, but across the globe. And then here we have now the pandemic. I'm wondering, and I'm wondering if you think about it from that vantage point, that maybe these times right now will help to form not another Bob Marley, but will tailor, will alter, will curate a different format of music right now that we can be proud of. How are you
But that's
feeling about
I that's what I'm saying. This is the time when
that?
people are going to do, and the musicians out there already probably.
Hmm.
Listen, God have chosen. He has the musicians out there now. Them
Hmm.
going to come forward now. And if we need it, say when you're ready, the teacher will come. When the people mind ready, you're going to see
Hmm.
the musicians come from nowhere. The
Right,
unbelievable. They're going to
right,
play like geniuses. And those who have been storing that never go will have. You have to have something to give the people. And it
right.
can't be the same thing over and over and over again. We
Hmm.
need conscious. Look here. If Bob was, what would Bob say if he was here now? What do you think he would say to the world? He said everything. Look how long. He's a prophet. The man
Right,
come from so far and could know that. And I believe in myself when he did Redemption Song, he said, listen, I can't tell you where the world is going. And I don't know what the new music is, but I'll tell you my story.
right.
Redemption Song is a masterpiece, the way he
Yeah.
wrote it and coined it. But there was no instrument. He had to play the guitar because the message was so important
Hmm.
to stay
Hmm.
with us. I'm going to say another thing. If, and I'm going to say this, if we're all, there's no if, we're all part of that slavery that came from Africa.
Hmm.
If we as parents lost our children, if we lost our children, would we want to find them back? Would we do everything to find them back?
Hmm.
Africa lost its children.
Right,
Africa
right.
was taken away and massacred. Isn't it better now that you don't feel that there's a connection to go back?
Right.
Don't some of us feel that the Africa, Ghana's reaching out to us,
Right.
Nigeria's there reaching out to us, South Africa's up. The respect of the music, sports. Remember, they said that there was no direct slaves sent to Africa. Is was sent round and came round, and the ones who was rebellious came to Jamaica. That means they were the leaders.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
somehow, if Africa have all the gold still intact, it's the most steadiest continent anywhere in the world, then would it be maybe, could the future be there? Could the future be there? We're looking and saying, boy, tomorrow morning, if there's riot here and you're going to go through, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Suppose Mother Africa is ready to take you back. Suppose, but that's suppose. I notice that they will.
Right.
They look what's happening now.
Right.
The Afrobeat is taking over the world, and some of the greatest dancers are the little children.
Full circle.
They want to connect. Why did reggae music hit so big in Africa? Why, when South Africa was fighting the wars, they took Bob Marley music to fight for their freedom? Why did Bob Marley go and fight for his people and spend all the money in that stadium to change?
Yeah.
There's a connection. And I'm telling you something. You see the drum? I'm going to say something. If anything happened to me, don't say I don't tell you. We have to take back our culture. You have some people that say, oh, we not take the drum. It's not this. That is your culture. Know who you are. Know who you are. Know your culture. I've been to Africa. It's the most beautiful place. Don't listen to what you see on TV of children starving. You have some great kings and queens there. You have places that is phenomenal there. There can be another way of living. You don't know. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. We have to listen to what. If we look at our musicians, our prophets, and all of them are said, back to Africa. Peter Tosh, God bless his soul. Bonnie Whaler, who's here with us, always said repatriation, going back.
A must.
Okay? A must. We have to look to that land. Because if tomorrow, let's take one thing. Suppose with the whole burning up of what's happening, the different things, how we know some of this place will still exist? Volcanoes are there waiting to take us out. Earthquake, storm.
Wow.
But Africa can hold its own. Because remember, the minerals was not take to make money. It was there to hold a land for a special reason. We can't take it lightly. We can't, because 10 years from now, who would have tell if we knew that we'd be in this situation? You would expect that there would be nuclear war. And you said this would happen. Nobody expect a virus has stopped the world. Think of it. A virus has stopped the world.
The entire world.
Economy and everything. Who is talking? Regardless of how it stopped the world.
Wow.
But what are we doing? We have to look to what Marcus Garvey said. Tomorrow morning, you're eating from here. If the lines go big, you can't go there because people going there, they're going to get COVID. If you plant, you are the richest person because you can eat. Once you can eat and self-reliance, we need to put back that. We need to get our children how to live survival, how to use survival instincts to survive. That's where they know. That's what it is showing us. We don't know what's going to come. They said that by November, there's going to be the cold season. It could be worse. Hopefully not. Praying to God that don't happen. But suppose it happened. What's going to happen? You're eating if you can't go to the supermarket because it's packed. You're afraid to go. You can't go to the doctor. We have to eat better. We have to exercise. We have to talk to our children more. More parents. Yes, there's abuse happening because people can't. But more parents are talking to the children, knowing children. Families are come together in this weird way. They're talking. The people are talking. Some I hear, I don't know if it's true. Some wife and husband will get divorced, get to love them because they're being home now, rediscover themselves.
out of the peril.
Out of the peril. Let me say so. So believe me, let us look, not here so, but let's look at the future. Having faith that this is a time for reset. This is a time for us to look at ourselves and see, when you point the finger, one finger come back at you. You point it like this, it come back at you. Check yourself. What can you do? to change tomorrow? What can you do to make part? So when we go out there, God can see, because God is alive. It's in
Right.
everything we see. Nature, if we be better caretakers, something is talking to us and telling us we need more love. Greed has taken over the place.
Right.
Selfishness. We need to look to our youth to set a better example. Money as everything. Listen, you could have all the money in the world. It's not saving you.
Nope.
It's not saving you.
Rich
Where
people
you
dying
going with
too.
it? People are
Yeah.
saying, oh, I need to make money, I have to survive. Do what you came to earth for. Find that inner voice in you and be that. You'll be surprised you'll be the happiest person. Because once you do what God give you to do, and I'm not a preacher, I'm just talking from my heart.
Right. Right. Right.
The homegrown within you, the person in you. See yourself in the mirror and love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, then you're in trouble. Whether you're black, brown, or whatever, God made you that way. You are special. Every child that is born must have a right to be special. You're
Love it.
bleaching yourself. For what? God made you. You never made yourself. Respect yourself. Let us find that dignity within ourselves and treat every man honestly. And that change will happen. This is serious time. But in this time, if we can be better human beings, we can be better caretakers and pass on something better for our children of tomorrow.
I love it.
I'd
I
like to
love it.
pick up my nephew, Stephen Lee, and the family, the Lee family, and my
Big up.
daughter, Leah, and Lisa, and Keisha, and all my children, and Mr. Olivia Brown, and Judy Brown,
They
and
are all here.
all the wonderful people here. I want to big up all the wonderful people and fans. Listen, all the third world fans over the years, I say it again. When people ask me for autograph, I say you give me your autograph because
Wow.
if you did not
Wow.
support me, I couldn't survive today. And
Wow.
I thank all the fans that has been with us and loved us to this day because you can't change. It's like you have given us honor, and
Wow.
I hope that all of us will be able to live up that the honor and the trust that you have given us to be able to play and be such people that help us to move on. So to me, I give thanks that God has given me a chance to be able to do something that I think is heavenly,
Wow.
something that is beautiful in the sense of playing music. And I ask parents, give your child a chance to express themselves. Give your chance. Don't tell them, oh, don't play that. Yes, some of the music will get to you, but teach them instead of something, give them an instrument to start playing. Let the
Mhm.
teachers get them back. It will widen their mind to appreciate. It will make them take them from somewhere. Music transports you to a place of tranquility if you want. Music can transport you to of happiness. You play it all the time. Respect it.
Love it.
Respect the musicians that was with you. Respect everybody. It's so important. So my wonderful fans of Mr. Cole, because I'm here as a guest. Mr. Phil Nix, my good friend Phil Nix, my
Phil, big up.
board, Embrace Music for Board, my CEO, and my beautiful wife Carol Dawn, and all of my friends. I want to tell you this day, Willie Stewart, love you.
Appreciate
Willie
it.
Stewart, love you and ask God to bless each one at home. That when you go tonight to sleep, that God will give you such energy and thoughts and put you in the right direction. And if we have enough positive thoughts, we can beat this virus because there's nothing in the earth that cannot be beaten. Love can change it. Love can change it. The world has stopped loving. That is the biggest problem. We
Wow.
need to come back to love because if you have love, Mr. Greg, I am not going to hurt you. Look how you love your children. I am
Right.
not going to, I want to be fair to you. If I do something, I'm going to be honest. Because that's what love brings. Love is the highest form we can have on earth.
Yeah.
It's not hard. But what I know, we listen to certain things and we forget who we are. And listen, honor must not forget your roots. Don't
Yeah.
forget your roots. Explore, invest in Africa. Invest because we don't know tomorrow morning. Many people might have to go because if the rest of the world cut away, if volcano take away, water dead. So
Yeah.
we don't know. Maybe 20 years from this, some of the world is going to be wiped out. We don't know what one it is. So whatever your mind tell you, don't be afraid to take that journey. You can
Wow.
always say no. We don't know what we come here for. You
I
know.
love it.
I want to pick up my granddaughter, Jada, Aliana, all of them. Sarah, my daughter, Alika, everybody, my whole family. Big up. I want to big up your family, Mr. Cole. Tonight, I don't know why I'm doing this, but hold on, election. I don't know who wins, but maybe I'm in the middle of this. But we're here. We're here. Listen, we're here to entertain you, to give you a thing, to give you food for thought. While we're waiting on where Jamaica is, because as I said,
Right.
prayers for Jamaica. Prayers. People think that prayers is a thought is a prayer. A
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
is a prayer.
Yep.
Just thinking and being positive. And if many people do that, it go up. I'm thinking that if the man up there saying, "Oh, it was a prayer," so much people come up, changes can happen. It's
Yeah.
positive. And I
Yep.
think if we have more prayer to help, one, the crime in Jamaica, to help two. Well, first, the COVID that it don't reach there. So for us to be the nation that we are, for all of the ministers that's there, to really help the people in every way we can, to
Wow.
make changes that are people that is poor. And our people not poor, you know. We call that people are poor, but they're the richest people in the world
Mm-hmm.
because they're the most kindest people.
Yeah.
In Jamaica, you can't starve.
Yeah.
In America, if you pick somebody land and pick fruit, they might shoot you. But it's hardly likely anybody going to shoot you in
In
Jamaica
Jamaica.
if you take some food.
Right.
So to me, it
Don't
is
take
a
too much.
bless. When I went and saw Jamaica at the age of 11,
Mm-hmm.
I said this was paradise. I don't know how
Wow.
I get here. I can only say that God must bring me back here because
Well, we
I
need
don't
you.
know. But I give thanks. And this is no disrespect. I give thanks to America. But Jamaica is a land that when you go, it's healing.
It
When I
is.
sit down in Jamaica and I feel the mountains, the majestic mountains, and
Mm-hmm.
I drink a coconut jelly
Yeah.
with liquor and a patty, boy, but don't it's like when a man have a party. That's why so much parties in Jamaica. When a man have a
Yeah.
party, listen, tell me if it's not true. When Friday and Saturday and Sunday come, and you have a party or holiday, it's real holiday up. Up here there's no holiday.
No
The
such
days
thing.
running. Thing. You're working, you're running all the time. But in
Right. Right.
Jamaica, when man say party, that's why they
Yeah.
have so much party.
Well, them
It's
said
great.
Friday. It's
Yeah, man.
Friday.
You can eat everywhere. Man,
Yeah.
believe me, Jamaican people have greatness. Well, as I say,
Absolutely.
we're the heartbeat of the world. But at the same time, we have to stretch out now as ambassadors. Jamaica's are ambassadors. And we
Mm-hmm.
also have to look at other places too to see how we can invest. Because as a people, we have to survive what's happening now. We have to be more supportive. We have to have economics where we can move better with each other and respect each other.
Love that.
That's
Well,
it, brother.
I pray for blessings for you, Mr. Willie, because you continue to bless us. So the more you get blessed by the Almighty, I know you'll continue to bless the nation, bless the youths, them, which in turn will bless the future. So I'm continuously going to be praying for blessings for you. The album again, I'm excited to hear when it comes to fruition. Again, I'm showing off right now. I've heard it. Phenomenal. An energy like none other. I've never had an instrumental piece in my car, in my CD player that made me feel the way that one did. So whenever it comes out, we don't have a date yet, but you'll keep them posted. And in order to keep them posted, I need to drop your social media so that people know where to keep up with you.
Right. Well, on Facebook, it's William Stewart. You see me
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook. On Facebook, it's on Facebook we have Rhythms of Africa. You can
Mm-hmm.
like Rhythms of Africa. Only that may I run out. I'm on Facebook. Me only have a few more. I nearly gone to 5,000. So me have about 50 or 60 more. Maybe I have to find another new personal Facebook. But you can like the page Rhythms of Africa. And Solutions in Music, a production company, and my nonprofit, Embrace Music Foundation. Website is embracemusicfoundation.org. If you want to see what I do, www.embracemusicfoundation.org. Go there and you can see all the stuff we have done over the years. Believe me, with all the people that has helped me, it's a lot of stuff. And I give thanks that God has allowed us to do so much, and things.
Keep
So
on doing what you do.
thank you. And Mr. Cole, thank you for being such a wonderful host.
My pleasure.
A man, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you go work and come back and stay. It's like you have clairvoyancy because you talk to different artists and you know them inside out. It's like you study them. It's like You know, everybody talks, I listen to your shows, and you are a rare gem
I
in what you do.
appreciate it.
And the knowledge that you bring to people, and you're going to find, I'm telling you, let me hear what I tell you. Anybody in the future, within another few months, them have to book you a year ahead to get on your show. You're going to be the
Well,
hot
thank you,
show.
sir.
And
Not until not until we get Ibo on though. Afterwards.
yeah,
Afterwards.
forget Ibu. I'm going
Yeah.
to let's write him, and everybody write Ibu and say we want. Hold on, Joy. Listen, Joy Cooper is Ibu's wife. Joy.
Right.
Joy is on Facebook. Find and say you want Ibu to come and talk on Homegrown. You want his side of the story, okay? Because by the way, someone told me it's true. You know, Ibu is a comedian. You didn't know that?
Oh, I've heard him.
Ibu, are you heard? Ibu do comedy now.
I've heard him.
Yeah, man. So you could ask him to give you have some jokes in his thing to make it different.
Oh Lord,
And,
I can't wait.
one thing I loved about Third World is that when the 6 man did the thing, each one of us could do something different.
Right.
So when you hear Boo rap, that was a part. When you hear voice, that was the idea of that Third World at that time.
Right.
When you hear the rhythm section, there was none like it. When you hear Cat playing cello, well, still do that. So you still have that, and him guitar. That was another piece of it. The harmonies was another. The solos that was done was another. It was like it was all of us working as a team. And when another man was tired, it was still a group because it was our group. So we always, you find sometimes when you play for artists, musician back it up, but it's the leader. So he's at risk. Yeah. But it was a full togetherness, you know? So give thanks. Give thanks.
And I say
to Herbie at Sonic Sound. Herbie,
oh, big up Herbie too, yes.
Herbie, man. And
big up Herbie.
With ATF. Big him up, man. Herbie. Yeah. Herbie, man. Yeah,
large of Herbie every time. Big, you know, it's funny you mentioned that. Again, I continue to say that I think you guys are the blueprint. Even talking to Richie, it's like it must have been a challenge. Looking at the clock, but I still gotta say it. It must have been a challenge because most people have a blueprint. That blueprint is you. But when you guys were doing it, you didn't have a blueprint to do it. You were creating the blueprint.
And beautiful. And believe me, creating it did cause a lot of, you had to have faith because going through, there was near misses. Third World could have been even bigger. But maybe God never wanted that way because having a record that we had, there was things like you go this way and somehow it went this way. Right, you know what I'm saying? Because when you now don't live in a country like America, we all lived in Jamaica, it's very hard because every time you came up here, there was at least 60% of what you earn had to make it survive up here. So it is very difficult to monitor. And believe me, managers come and they go. Trust me. Right. And it's very few managers that you can say, wow, you know, because the artist is always creating. Unless you have a manager like the Beatles manager, or you have a manager like who really like this what's her name again? He died though, but she was a great Celine Dion. Like
okay.
Yeah, see, the committed managers, they can make the thing next time. And even Santana has a manager from Santana have a manager from day one, and they work together and they split it down, and they're there from there. That type of commitment. I don't think we had a manager. We had good ones, but we never had that commitment because if we did have someone to see it, believe me, Turtle would be in a whole different way. But I give thanks for everything because what is to be, and so it be.
I love that. Well, here's what I'm gonna do for the masses, Mr. Willie. I want to thank you so much for taking your evening out with me.
How long did I spend, Mr. Gregory? Do I hold the Guinness record?
You have the record right about now for because we're going on 3 hours right now. We're going on 3 hours. So you have the record, but you also have the record for the most engaged because for the 3 hours that we're on, everybody's engaged and loving it. So you've set 2 records. All right, in one. So we'll send you. There's no plaque to keep up with the plaques that are behind you right now, but there's got to be a plaque somewhere for this one.
I want the homegrown. I want the homegrown plaque.
The homegrown.
The Guinness homegrown plaque to put up there. But
well, I don't want anybody to be mad at me because somebody will be. I got to give him the song before we get out of here. Lagos Jump from your upcoming
hold on. Let me explain. Let me thank. Arturo Tappin is the lead. Arturo, the great Arturo is on this track. And when we did it about 3 years ago. And I just think that it is done beautifully and I think it's a different because remember we played Lagos jump. So
Mhm.
you had to do something different. And I think it gives it a spring, and it gives it some different taste. So and please in the chat let everybody tell you what they thought of it.
Yeah, what you know what? Absolutely. We're gonna play it, and we're riding out with this one, ladies and gentlemen. Again, let me know, like Mr. Willie said, what you think of it. If you haven't yet followed us, follow us on social media. That's at my G Cole, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Hit us up on YouTube, Homegrown with G Cole. It's gonna be a vibe. Remember, the vinyl nights are still here. They're not gone. I've just been on the road a lot. So the next thing is gonna be this Chesedek album right here, which I love it. It's called Hello Africa. So you'll get that on the next vinyl night. But right about now, I'm going to drop for you Lagos Jump. And Mr. Willie, we're going to get some feedback on it. But again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Blessings to you, sir.
The pleasure is mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Willie Stewart OD. Don't you forget the OD. I'm going to be mad at y'all if you do.
No, let me say so. OD, yes, order of districts, but order of distance. No.
Keep it simple and keep it healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, tune. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The pleasure is mine. Ladies and gentlemen, try this one on for size. It is Lagos Jump.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yeah. Lagos jump. Lagos jump.
Love it. I love it.
Yes, sir. Move your hips. They say move your hips. Here we go. Roll it, baby. Here we go. Mr. Arturo, blow that shot, baby. Yes, sir. Roll it.
Classic, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go, man.
Creating a brand new classic out of this.
The man on top. Yeah, here we go. Blow that
Love it. It's a big one. It's a big one. Yes, coming up.
Hey, come again, Joe.
Mr. Willie, when the album coming out? I know you ain't got no dates yet, but when can the people be expecting this? Because I'm loving it.
No later than about 2 months or less. Because we need to do, the record is record in sense, but I need to get the jacket. I need to get the name of the album. So if anybody can hear something, send some message to you and we can say. So that is what I need to do. And then little arrangements and it's done, basically. In fact, one track is being done as we speak, finishing. But it's different. The album, we put Lagos on because it was like, to me, it's like Lagos was our crossover then, third world. Hey, what? Boom. This is that. So this is us now. This is us coming in as one part. But the music, the whole different sound of the album, is, to me, is, as you said, you describe it, it's music with a lead with no voice. Because music, even before people talk, sound was sound. People talk about sound, sound power. What it calls?
Word, sound, and power.
Word, sound, and power. So this album is that the music is supposed to touch the different things, the sax, the lead guitars, all the different instruments that play with the different synthesizers, is to touch your heart. It's to bring on a journey that when you hear it, it's to feed that soul. That's what this album is about. And it wasn't, I've had it for so long, and it didn't go out.
Well, not the first time.
And when I come in here, I sat down and say, no, it's time for it to go. And so Lagos is the connection. I say, all right, see us here now. Because people hasn't heard from Ibu Carrot from that time there, you understand? So this is our first product. And I say, I'm going to do also, I have songs that I've written before. I'm going to do a Lovers Rock. A modern Lovers Rock with all original. That's I'm working on that. That's the next project. But this is like something that is given back to people that they can, when they listen, it's going to build them, going to be able to travel. When I say travel, in their mind and spirit, they're going to feel something. They're going to rejuvenate. If they want to cry, they're going to cry. If they want to get up and dance, they'll get up and dance.
It's going to take them somewhere.
Rich. It's going to take them somewhere, and it consists all of that. Like always, the Rhythms of Africa is like the album is full of everything, a little of everything. But
I vouch for that because from my experience, and I'll tell you it is, consider soul already touched, and I know it's going to touch a lot more soul. So
you want to play one more?
I'm gonna give them Ziambello. I already gave them a piece of this, but they never get the full thing.
This is where we reach South Africa. Listen to this.
This one right here. Let's go.
Let's go. That's Ziambello.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're getting the classics right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're getting some future classics. This album is going to be amazing. Make sure you get it when it comes out. Again, follow Mr. Willie. Vanessa, what's up? Follow Mr. Willie on social media. Make sure you find out when. He said in about 2 months. I am a stalker, so I will be stalking him to make sure that it does come out in about 2 months because I want my official copy, And when it comes out, guess what? We can come in the studio. We could go through the whole thing, track one,
man. We're
all the way through.
We can have them vote on what they like and what they think. We want their opinions of it,
See it there. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get up out of here. I thank you all so much for rocking with us. Mr. Willie, one more time.
Hey, listen, thank you. Whole thing. Love to everybody.
Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you. Much love. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Willie Stewart. All right. We got to get up out of here one more time. Thank you. All right. Had a blast today. One of my favorite gentlemen to have a conversation with. One of my favorite conversations thus far. Again, we got to get up out of here, though. All right. Keep it moving. Keep it grooving. It is Homegrown. This one right here. Bluesy feeling, baby. Bluesy feeling. And this is how we go.